All right, we got to work on your live calls. But for the in the meantime, for the time being, welcome everyone to Table Quests. After some slight technical difficulties, we are all here, all visible, all audible, um, coming to you live from many different places. This is, of course, Table Quests, your home for all manner of TTRPG goodness, as we have something very interesting to announce that as of next Tuesday, hopefully, Doors and Deities will no longer be the only program running on this Twitch channel. Starting next week, if any of you have deeply enjoyed watching me slowly go insane by watching whatever these idiots get up to, if you really wanted that and thought, what if I had about 3 to 3.5 to 4 hours more of that mechanically every week? Well, you're in luck, as Table Quests, myself and Kendra, as well as a few others who you guys haven't met yet, but you will, are starting the Black Rabbit Society, a Call of Cthulhu, is it 7th edition? 7th edition actual play that will be airing 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So basically the same time, same place, twitch.tv/ whatever, however Twitch things work. Table quests, whatever. But we'll be playing D&D. It will be Call of Cthulhu. And now I've completely lost track of everything I was going to say because I've made that announcement. Woohoo! I wish I had some cheer,
You're just
cheer
that
sound effects.
excited. Insanity
That's been
mechanics.
taking up all of my just been staring into the abyss, preparing for that. So I've had so I haven't done any prep for today. It's just all been abyss staring. However, tonight, as always, it is time for Doors and Deities, the D&D 5th edition um, live stream here on Twitch on Wednesdays. Nothing changes about that. We will all be here, plagued with technical issues every week, same as always. Yes, that's correct. So hopefully, let's hope. Special thanks, as always, to Syrinscape for the use of their beautiful sound library, for all of the lovely noises you will be hearing throughout the night that aren't our lovely voices, like these to remind us of where we left off, as well as to animated dungeon maps on Patreon for the beautiful 3D animated battle maps that you will sometimes see here on the channel. Does anyone else have any other shout-outs, announcements, interesting things to say, stuff that happened to them worth commenting on but not expounding upon? Kat, you look like you were thinking there for a second. Oh, there you
I
go.
made a house for a bee on Friday, and that was charity. My work participated in charity, and we made houses for bees. So we've saved the crisis every week.
A
I mean,
huge
it's very
ass house for
territorial.
one.
Maybe it's like a mansion, a bee mansion.
Well, I will be expecting updates on that. But in the meantime, let's start playing some D&D. Last week, you guys gathered in sort of the final corridor before something loomed in the dark, spreading cold fog. You first scouting your way with Eddie, and then walking down uncovered pictures or portraits rather, of presumably the various overseers of the school, up to the most recent overseer Renoff, as well as one that Tempest was pretty sure was looking at her, but that was just her seeing things. You found the end point of this path of the library up into a room full of statues with a mirror on the other end. You found or surmised that something big and dangerous was lurking in the shadows, the unnatural shadows that spilled into the room, which turned out to be a keeper possessed by some spirit from the Shadowfell that you later found referred to as a Sorrowsworn, which you killed, receiving a mysterious gray crystal, as well as a spell gem from the study opposite. You found your entrance to the inner library of the college through the glowing mirror, where you kind of poked around a little bit to determine that that was indeed where you wanted to go, and then left back into the Chamber of Statues to discuss your next steps. Um, where you decided first and foremost to um, lay the body of the keeper to rest by burning it in the study, along with the other notes and papers kept there that you did not take. And then discussed whether or not to, or what information to bring back to the professor and what to maybe keep to yourselves. So, as the fire begins to burn in the study and you seal the doors and begin to make your way out, we are back to you guys.
I mean, if we're not gonna check out the library, what else is there to see?
Yeah, the creepy hallway. I mean, that's what we said, right? We would just like pass by all of the interesting stuff. There was the ticking clock hallway too. I mean, do we want to go see some clocks? We've got time.
Creepy hallway and the time hallway. All right. So if I slap you back up here, you walk back through the tunnels, back down to the Kraken's Lake. And I'm not going to give you guys any autonomy there because I want you all still alive. Up through the tombs where you...
That's so weird. Where did this door on the cave come from?
A large gate bolted with thick iron chains over the balcony. You walk back up through the tombs, not hearing the strange whispers of the Nothic in your heads. And then back up nearly to the statue room, to that long, sloping set of stairs, where it branches off. And you're going to head down the westerly passageway that Andrew had mentioned came the sound of ticking clocks. Make an investigation check. Well, are you going to it and looking around it, or are you just giving a passing glance? Right. Okay. Yeah. Make an investigation check. Yeah, so as you look to where he disappeared into, you see a trail of dark blood kind of going back down into the crack that he's disappeared into. You do not see or hear him. All right.
I'm eyeing anything suspiciously now after we pass that painting that I think is staring at me.
Oh, I did forget to mention, when you guys go through the painting, the hallway of portraits, the portrait that Daziel had carefully placed on the ground is back in its position, hung on
You
the
can't
wall.
just casually forget to mention something like that when I think the paintings are coming for me.
Yeah, I can. We can roll. We can roll back
Really?
to that. We can roll back to
Really
that.
quick. John, I can't. Yeah, I couldn't. Let me see.
Can you now?
There's a delay.
The painting got him.
No, I can't hear you still.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it was using some strange device that wasn't mine. Thank
Fun.
you. Yeah, you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Sorry, everybody. That was on me. So the painting. Is there any evidence of footprints, handprints in the dust, whatever, in the frost?
You can make an investigation check.
Rolled a 22.
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll reroll it.
While he's doing that, can I start? I'm gonna go over to the painting that I think is watching me, and I'm gonna start cutting it out of the frame. I'm gonna roll it up, and I'm gonna run back into the other room and throw it into the fire.
Okay, you can certainly do that. Does he yell? You see in the frost around the frame, you see two depressions in the frost on the sides of the painting. Very soft and subtle, but definitely there.
Somebody or someone put this painting back. It did not magically float back into place.
No, I'm not the smartest. But if I had to take a guess, I would say it's keeper that I killed cousin coming to do their job and then therefore avenging keeper that I.
Perhaps, but I think when we pass that sarcophagus where the Gothic creature went, maybe we should check it out and make sure it hasn't returned.
Okay.
Yep, fast forwarding back.
I investigate. He hasn't returned.
You investigated that. Still hasn't returned. And then back up to the fork.
No, it was not him.
Why?
He has no return. I suppose you're right. It was one of the keepers, no? Hopefully not possessed.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if it was one of the keepers, wouldn't we have heard it? Aren't they like notorious for walking around all creepy mumbling and with the chains and stuff?
Perhaps it happened while we were fighting and making lots of noise.
Maybe they got scared
And
after.
the keeper was just like, eh.
I mean, do they fight? You did the reading and stuff. Do they fight people who come to the library, or do they just keep the books and the
No,
paintings.
it literally
in place.
said they try to keep away from them. I mean, there was no mentions of like the keeper's gonna get you. There was plenty of mention of like other stuff that would, but
So it was keeping the library tidy. Apparently, that one thing in all of this other area of the library, that's the one thing that must be tidy. All the books can be thrown about haphazard. But they got
I mean,
it.
does it have? Oh, maybe it's like the library itself. Maybe there's this like weird pocket of time centered around the artwork that's like, oh, I keep returning to my place. I mean, all of this stuff is like way older than the library is, right?
No, that's what I was thinking, that perhaps it was magically returned, but it was not, because there were handprints on the frame. So something actually put it back.
Time ghosts. Oh my god, it's the ghost of libraries past.
Perhaps. Maybe we should go check out the hallway with the clocks and the time and see if we find any time ghosts.
Maybe. Oh my god, it's all coming together.
Okay, Amnel. Shove him forward down the clock hallway.
And
Oh,
Emnail
he's back.
stops buffering. He's just been sitting there in a much lower resolution than all of you with a little spinny wheel.
In game. Just
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You know, like how sometimes the entire world goes black and starts buffering.
Yes.
It's like we were all so sad coming here because of the spirit, and Lyra was like, oh my god, I'm so sad, I'm gonna be quiet. Now Amniel's like, oh my god, I'm not sad. Happiness? I need to reflect on this.
So if that's happening, you should stop drinking moonshine. If the whole world is going black and buffering, you should stop drinking moonshine.
Oh, yeah. I have a bottle of wine over there I could open. I mean, I'm halfway to stuff buffering. Quick question, Dungeon Master. As we were passing by the portraits again, there was one thing that I just wanted to keep an eye. I actually wanted to ask this last week. Do any of the creatures in the portraits seem to have any, be it physical semblance, robes, runic inscriptions, items, anything that would ring a bell of some sort of celestial connection? Like I wouldn't stop to like examine it. I would just be like, as we're walking, I would be looking at the portraits.
Actually, yes. So the portrait previous to Renal, presumably his predecessor, you see wears a blue robe. That is, you see, is clasped with the symbol of the Platinum Dragon himself, Bahamut.
That's the one that Desiel said Renal murdered.
Correct.
Bad guy.
Now that doesn't you would know that doesn't inherently mean, oh, they were a part of anything necessarily. Many people take on Bahamut's, many in positions of power take on his symbol. But it's definitely something you would notice.
Cool.
It might not mean anything, but we totally think it does.
It might not mean anything, but Amnail notices it. None of the rest of you do.
Yes. Yes. As we're walking forward after that portrait has gone by, I will turn to Desiel and I'll go, you know what I find kind of a funny coincidence?
Oh?
The name of the sort of headmaster of this college is Overseer. That is a funny coinkydink, isn't it? I wonder.
Do you mean Overseer like Your
like
people.
the overseers and the protectorates,
Yes.
and this library was a boon of the gods. It could just be a coincidence. It is like an adjective. I am aware. If two things are described as hot or funny or warm, doesn't mean they're necessarily connected. But
I
given
think on
their
this plane oversteers are now, but
oh, sorry,
I
but
understand what you mean though.
a title. I mean, not an adjective, a title.
Yes.
Um, I don't know, just a
A
funny thing
descriptor
to keep in mind.
of sorts, regardless. So do you think perhaps the protector is somehow linked to the library that comes from the gods?
Maybe, or maybe it was. I don't know how that stuff would work, but maybe it was through one of the omens that I used to give. They still do. Bunch of losers.
Well, the library does not
But
belong to the school, no? It's just the school that says the headmaster is overseer.
no, I know, but my follow me on this one. My my theory is that the library is here. Eldath, Pelor, whatever deity, whatever cabal of shiny deities decided to give this into the world. They place a library here, and then their, for lack of a better term, minions, their followers in the protectorate, their servants, gave omens to construct places of learning with intrinsic connections to it, which, as far as we know, is the case of this college. The college was, from what I understand, and I could be mistaken about this, I wasn't really paying attention, but wasn't the college specifically built here because it was on top of a somewhat significant part of the Great Library?
No, so just to clear, the other way around was how it worked. That when the library sprung up, the
Oh,
important
gotcha.
areas were underneath the colleges that were already there.
Okay, gotcha. But anyway, long story short, it's a funny coinkydink. Just weird, weird stuff.
That is interesting.
All right. So you guys are talking about this as you're walking along, um, and slowly, Emnail, you first, because your passive is absurd. As there's a break in conversation, and then you notice very faintly, tick 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 tick, the very regular, smooth repetition of ticking.
That is odd. And we didn't get that when we came in the first time.
No, so you guys are heading down the other passageway in the tombs.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know if you heard when that was, or if you were here when that was decided.
Yeah, we're going down one of
Yeah.
the hallways that we passed. The click ticking clock
Yeah.
hallway.
Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, so since it is expected to be a ticking clock, not much to infer from it. I'll just say, well, there's the clock, I suppose. Although it does tick kind of fast.
Once he points it out, can others of us hear the ticking?
Yes, once he points it out, as you guys keep walking, when you're listening for it, yes, you can definitely hear it.
Does it sound like a clock? Like multiple clocks? Or like just some ticking that is too fast for a clock?
It sounds like what you would hear if you opened a clock up and listened to the gears.
And I imagine that would be very hard, nigh impossible, but could I attempt to discern how far the origin of the sound is, or is there too much reverb?
Yeah, there's definitely too much echoing kind of happening. And as you listen closely, you start to hear, the there's tick, 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 and then tick, 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 a second ticking, kind of oscillating at in rhythm.
Are they going at the same pace, or are they like, like when two car indicators are going and they slowly overlap and then go out of sync again?
Yes, they are in sync.
First of all, I'll cast light because I can see, but I think there's part of the party that can't really see. And this is the part where there are no more torches, correct?
There are no torches in this section that you are in currently.
Cool. So first of all, I'm gonna cast light on the coin. Just carry it with me. And I don't know. This is. I'll say to the group. This is a bit odd.
Wouldn't it be more odd if the clock room didn't have any sounds of clocks?
Yes. That is a good point. But why would there be more than one?
It's not really a clock room if you've only got one. It's just a clock in a room.
I mean, there are multiple statues in the room with the statues. Maybe there are multiple clocks.
Can't fault that logic.
Made by the same great clockmaker.
Yes.
Clocky
Clock
McGerson
makers
from Timetown.
Flasks.
Oh, I like Timetown.
Okay. So should we just keep going then?
I mean, if Andrew made it close enough to hear the clocks, I can't imagine there's anything too dangerous up ahead, no?
That's fair. I suppose that's fair. I will just continue heading down.
And you head, winding through the hallways until you reach a wooden staircase going down, and the walls change to more smooth cut stone bricks rather abruptly. The ticking is definitely louder, and you can, at almost the periphery of your hearing, hear more dissonant ticks. Like if you focus on one of them, each individual tick is in rhythm, but they are very much separate from one another. Again, there are still the two very distinct rhythms, and then others that kind of proliferate out.
Have we seen any clocks yet, or we're just still?
No, you have not.
Oh, that's weird. I wonder where all the clocks are. We downstairs?
I don't know why I get the feeling the more we walk, the less I think we're gonna find a room of clocks. But yes.
I mean, why would they call it a clock room if there's no clocks?
Well, I mean, Andrew said that something sounded like a ticking clock. So it could be anything. I mean, it could be the pincers of giant crabs eating lunch, for all we know, and they're just very rhythmic.
Oh my. Why would you say that?
Yeah, I could see that.
Click, 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 click,
Ah.
click.
Could be the mouth of that weird thing that was in the lake finally coming out to say hi to me.
No, we passed that.
You don't know. You don't know if the lake is deep enough. I will draw my shield because I don't trust it, but I will go down the stairs.
And as you do so, you see.
Does it look like sorry to interrupt you, but does it look like someone has been here recently, or does just it look like it's a different architecture?
It doesn't appear. No, it doesn't look like anyone's been here recently. It's just the architecture changes.
Cue him playing No Fortuna.
But you got this. I mean, if you're afraid, I can go first.
Does this one
No,
look okay?
I'm not afraid. I think I probably should have healed when we were back in the room before we burned the keeper.
I mean, can't you do that now?
But it's fine.
Is that not what you do?
It I could, but my original idea was to sit around for a little bit, kumbaya around the fire, watch the spirit pass on, and then I could do it to more people also. But it's fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, nothing could happen.
It's okay,
Us.
Amel. If you die, I've got you.
I mean, I suppose the worst that could happen is we go into this room and it's full of clocks, but they're really mimics, and it's just like a mimic nest, and they all look like clocks, and they jump off the wall and eat us.
What is what? What is a mimic?
A mimic, you know, things that mimic things.
I don't think I want to go into this room anymore, guys.
No, he just
Clocks
asked what the
really that
worst
cool?
thing that could happen could be. I'm just saying that I just answer his question.
That sounds pretty bad. I really don't want to be eaten by clocks.
Terrible. Or, you know what's the most random thing that could happen? Instead of being just like a bunch of clocks, it's just 3 metronomes that are one time signature off of each other. So they're just going tick, 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 tick. That would be pretty funny.
Well, then we should go check it out.
Sure.
You reach the bottom of the stairs, which opens up into a relatively large room, full of old tables and chairs, kind of spread out. There are maybe like 3 by 3 across the whole room. There isn't a ton of room like in between them. There's enough to walk, really enough to like gather a group of people. On the tables are what look to be chessboards, old wooden chessboards that have kind of started to decay and fall apart. But it looks like most of the tables have the remains of chessboards on them. There are 2 exits, one off to your left as you enter, and then one straight ahead. The one ahead looks like it opens up into another corridor. You see torchlight coming from the room on your left.
Can we try to see which way the noise is coming from?
Yes, so if you listen, you can hear the noise is louder to the left.
So the clocks are now on the chessboard tables.
No.
Just to clarify, there's no clocks. There are clocks, there's no clocks.
You don't see any clocks.
Are the chessboards set up? Like, are all the pieces on the board?
It looks like they were at one point, but for the most part, the pieces are kind of scattered. Not like in different positions, but like they've been knocked over or like blown off. Like a gust has blown them off of their positions, or they've just fallen apart. But it doesn't look like any of them were in the middle of a game.
This is a really shitty clock room, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so, and I take my sword and I point with the point of my sword, the tip of my sword, I should say. So that way is where the noise is louder. That way, however, has something. I don't know. Nothing really draws my attention if we go straight. So if we want to get eaten by clocks, turn left. If we want to find out whatever the fuck else, we go straight ahead.
Well, let's go get eaten by clocks first. No? Because it would
No.
suck to die in the other direction and never find out what the clock deal is.
I mean, that is a very compelling argument. Sure. Let's go then.
Okay. You guys head off to the left and immediately
Get attacked.
torchlight becomes very obvious.
As we pass through, I'm going to set a couple of the chess pieces up where they belong. But not long enough to stop everybody from going.
Right. Just as people are kind of filing through the room. Yeah, no problem. The floor beneath you, as you go through this corridor, changes from stone to wood. And then as you exit corridor into a wide open chamber, the floor actually turns to like brass or copper metal. The walls are still stone. The ceiling kind of opens up maybe to about 10 feet. In the center of this chamber, held by a metal post going from ceiling to floor, cutting through the middle of a set of concentric rings, all wrapped around a central brass ball. Currently, they are lying flat, like the rings of a planet, all connected to this contraption. You see a smaller chamber off to your right. As well as this contraption.
I look around. Does it look like maybe we are inside of a clock?
That is very...
Make a clock.
Make a clock check, yeah.
Energy. Would that be my spell attack? Make a time check. Spell attack.
Make...
Investigation.
Yeah, I could... I'm sure this would be a tool check of some kind.
Lockpick?
In theory. No, not that. I guess there aren't clockmakers' tools, but... It's a really, really good question.
Just intelligence?
Yeah, just a general intelligence check.
With or without proficiency?
Without. Clocks do not equal time. They tell time. Looking around, yeah. The edges of the floor kind of curl up at the edges of the room, almost like you are kind of in a sphere that has been like cut very low. Maybe not a clock, but it's not... You can't rule out that you are inside some sort of mechanical contraption. And the ticking, by the way, is... You can now definitely see coming from the center of the brass sphere. And then almost reverberating out, up and down the post, and then out into the walls around you.
Okay. Crazy idea. You can move stuff, right, Dezio? Like from far our way.
Yes.
So, what if we all stood back here at the corridor and you just kind of boop the rings around the ball? It's going like boop to see what happens if they spin.
Yeah, I can do that. You know, somebody built this thing. We are inside some kind of a contraption or something. Like this whole room is like a
Did we
contraption.
already just? Are we already inside the clock?
No, I mean the clocks are coming. The ticking is coming from the ball, no?
As soon as I say that, I look at Lyra like with a very bad, but like, oh my god, have we been eaten already?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Are we the clocks?
Or haven't
I
we
mean,
been
we all
eaten
just slowly
already?
ticking away.
Oh my gosh.
Really, your own body is a measure of time.
Oh my gosh.
So my not invisible this time. Purple mage hand starts floating slowly towards the sphere.
And I grab everyone and I bring us back to like the corridor, out of the room.
As we're getting dragged back, I'm like, Lyra, can you be a clock?
If it was a clock with 2 arms and 2 legs, maybe.
And
Or
a little
try it,
mustache
like-
for the hands.
I could probably throw a mustache on that thing.
All right. So are you going to
Yes.
pull the rings?
Yes, I will do that.
So your mage hand yanks at the outermost ring, which begins to rotate, and the brass sphere starts turning as what you hear, like, for initially kind of like the grinding and snatching of gears, as there's kind of some unexpected movement, and then they resume their normal cadence. The ring kind of spins a couple times, pulls to a stop, and you hear from the chamber to the right, you hear stone sliding on stone. And then nothing. Just softly.
Can I see?
Well, we're either boned or not.
Like, is anything happening? So, like, I have to be within 30 feet to be able to do this. So, am I standing
Mhm.
on the brass floor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is the floor doing anything?
You feel it kind of vibrate as the gears don't agree with being moved. But no, once the ring stops, the ticking just resumes at its constant din.
Looking over where I heard the stone sliding from, do I see anything?
If you will kind of step to a vantage point, yes. You see kind of an open, or a smaller chamber, in the center of which is kind of a slightly raised dais, on top of which is a large, think like 1 meter by 1 meter chessboard, stone chessboard.
Proper measurements. Very good, very good.
The black D pawn has moved up 1 place.
How
Or
far
is
away
moved
this?
up. Is moved up 1 place.
How far
I should
away
say.
is this from me?
From you, it's about 40 feet.
So I'll kind of walk over about 10 feet, peering over there
Mhm.
and looking at it. And then I will, invisible mage hand, move the white, attempt to move the white E pawn forward 2 spaces.
Right. So you guys hear sliding stone, and then the sphere begins to spin, and the rings start spiraling and spinning around it. You hear the gears moving and ticking, before sliding, and you hear when it stops and kind of echoes, you hear a similar sound echo from the other side, from past the chamber. And that will be knight f6.
We really about to
Yeah,
play
like I'm not gonna
chess
sit here. Like,
against a clock, guys, because I'm really bad at
Mental
chess.
test.
so I'll lean back and say, something is happening. And instead of actually playing, can I just have Desiel, who is more intelligent than I am, roll for chess? I mean, we
can make a
could also
chess check.
play, but I don't think that would be super entertaining.
Yeah, no, I don't think if we just played chess, that would be very fun.
He's making the mosquito play. Grr, grr, move your queen out. Grr.
Slide my bishop out.
Actually, that's true. If you move, you said knight to f7.
Well, this is already an illegal game because
Black move first.
Black went first.
Because black made first move. Yeah, that's fair. Uh-oh.
Because Drew froze.
Yes.
It's illegal game. 'cause Drew
He's
froze.
hiding the board from you so we can move the pieces secretly.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think that's the name. I think it's the mosquito gambit when you open left or rightmost knight on the board. I don't know. I played chess when I was like 9.
Yeah, I thought it was the queen's opening, but it was black first, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
As I would do in real life, Tempest is just gonna find a comfy looking spot on the brass floor and just kind of lie down and just accept that someone with a brain needs to handle this.
Yeah, honestly, if Desiel is gonna fuck around too much, I'm just gonna go to the other room. I'm like, well, we got time.
I'm making like an origami clock over here or something. There's like moving parts to it.
Wow.
Contemplating the meaning of are we clocks? And if so, what does that mean?
Oh my god, my clock is gonna have a mustache and arms.
Hey! Oh my gosh, if you make that, then I can attempt. Because I think a changeling, you have to like see it in order to be able to change into it. So if you make a humanoid clock, what did I change into?
I couldn't remember
oh my
the
god,
name
forget
of.
that then. I've abandoned the origami and now I've got like my sketchbook and my paints out and I'm like planning a whole Lyra clock design.
You can so you can't duplicate the appearance of a creature you've never seen. So if I've seen it, drawn question mark, does it count?
I mean,
Creature
you could try.
drawing.
Try.
I mean, if drawings count, why can't you just like imagine people?
Yeah, I think you'd have to actually see the thing.
Mm.
What was I couldn't
Well, you're not
remember.
gonna
Like
try it
obviously
anyway, though.
the candlestick was Lumiere. So what was the clock's name in Beauty and the Beast?
Cogsworth.
Oh.
What? Cogsworth. Yeah, that's it.
Cogsworth.
He's back.
He's back. He had to go reset the internet.
Am I just back?
Yeah, you're just back.
We're
Lovely.
attempting to turn Lyra into a clock in the meantime.
Good. I'm so glad.
Make a clock shifting check.
All right. I get the music back up. I don't know why it went because it says I. Technical difficulties. This is
I
fine.
think also that the funniest thing is right when he showed this. What's that?
I'm climbing up into my frame in the stream.
Oh,
I was trying to do the Kilroy was here thing, but my nose isn't quite long enough,
Well,
and I couldn't fit my hands.
Drew's setting
in
up.
my
I need to go run and do something really fast, but Lyra's not going to do anything for chess anyway, so be right.
But the funny thing is, right when he showed that area of the map, I'm like, oh my god, there's a sphinx here. We're gonna be like 40 minutes thinking of this riddle.
Uh, you don't know it's not a sphinx. There we go.
That is true.
Chess is, in its own way, a riddle.
Yes.
That's why I like to play checkers.
The sphinx's name is Stockfish.
I like Go.
It's a chess joke. Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
there's a reason why a human will probably never beat an AI again in chess. So I think we should just give up.
Not like that ever happens.
I'm kidding. If you like playing chess, that's awesome for you. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Chess is really fun. I just haven't played it.
Wow, Walt is very defensive about his AI supremacy. Wasn't
Yeah,
expecting
on the week that Google was like AI ascension, man. Well, not Google, but that one Google
the
guy.
one guy. Anyway,
Actually,
Desiel.
I'm going to attempt to move the one pawn that I've moved like a knight to take his pawn that he moved first to see what happens. I will make an illegal chess move since he started
Okay.
illegally.
So you do that. You hear gears grinding and snatching. And then the whole board begins to slide back into its starting positions. The rings spin back to their initial flat position. You hear, and the board is reset.
Well, that's better because Juji did it anyway. I'm going first this time. And I will start with white.
All right. Instead of playing the whole protracted chess game, make me just a general intelligence check. $15. So you feel like you put up a pretty good fight. Like you keep the game going for a while. You take some pieces. You don't lose out too much. You don't make any obvious blunders. But eventually, you start to feel the inevitable. That he is gearing up for checkmate. And indeed, after a relatively long game...
Can I rewind it? No, because it would be too much.
No, because you could rewind a move.
No. But that
Well,
wouldn't be enough to change things.
Theater the minding this, you make a blunder. A small one, but a blunder. I will give you the chance to... Yeah, go for it. If you would like to reroll. Nope. But you just can't find a better move. You are eventually beaten.
Indeed.
How long is the game?
They're not playing it's not timed. So, I mean, it takes as long as Desiel wants it to take.
Well, it becomes obvious that I'm going to lose. I'll just resign, tip over.
You hear from the dais, like, 3 loud... like a dial turning, and then the pieces reset.
And now, before
Takes
you
maybe
go, I could
10,
use
15 minutes.
I could use maybe your help a little bit.
Short help.
But you know,
Prayer,
if I could get a blessing, yes.
Okay. I will extend my arm, grasp my holy symbol, and I'm gonna cast guidance on Desiel. And right after I do so, I will move into the next room before he starts playing again. I want to see what happens in that room while the game goes on.
Okay, so you're crossing over over the middle room into
Yeah, from
the
what
next room over?
correct me, from what I understood, there's a room here with dials turning, stone moving. Like as the game progresses, there's a bunch of movement happening on this general area,
Yes,
correct?
well, let me reveal the mostly identical chamber on the other side. The dais and the board is right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other is here. Now, is Desiel going to play again? I assume.
Yes, you can
All right.
handle their thing.
So this time, when you watch, because you can find a vantage point where you can see both of the um, machines. The room you are in, that one will move first. So that one will go, and then the very innermost ring will just kind of lazily spin, and then the other will go, and then they will both lock, and the move will be made. So Tiziel, make me another intelligence check. With your guidance.
There you go.
26.
Yeah, I mean, but this time you're locked in. The first time you're like, okay, let me test this out, see if all the pieces work, maybe. Or this time you are playing to win, and pretty quickly you do.
So nothing happened when I lost. It just reset.
You heard a tick, which you didn't the previous time. 3 loud ticks
Okay.
from the center of the dais, and then it reset. This time you hear chick 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 chick. 4 of those ticks in a slightly lower register, and then the board resets
After winning.
after winning.
So when I cheated, it was 3 ticks and it reset. When I lost, it was 3 ticks and I reset.
Cheated, you heard nothing.
Okay.
It just reset.
Okay.
When you lost, you heard 3 slightly higher ticks. When you won, 4 slightly lower ticks.
Can I discern where these ticks originated, more or less?
Oh yeah, they're coming from directly beneath the board. So there's it's almost like a pillar that rises up to the board. So there's kind of the edging around it, from that kind of disc area.
Do we have enough time for a short rest while this is going on?
If Desiel wants to play a few more games.
Oh, multiple games. So does it
If
seem
I
like...
mean, it would have to be several games.
Okay, but it seems like something is happening.
Right.
Okay.
The board is not simply resetting.
Okay. Do you know? I have this figured out. I think. Yeah, and I'll keep playing.
Okay. Now, are you still playing with your mage hand? Or are you at any point going
So
to
nothing
approach?
bad seems to have happened in any of the 3 different circumstances.
I mean, you lost, but
I did not.
But
see
no,
where
no
something...
spikes, shot up from the floor or anything like that.
All right.
Harsh.
I'll walk over. Okay, so something is happening, but apparently I need to win a couple more games for us to figure out. So I don't know what you guys want to do. We can just keep moving. I can sit here and maybe play a few more times if you want to take a break, or it's up to you.
Well, me and Tempest are figuring out how to turn me into a clock, so I think we're good for a while if you want to play chess.
Yeah, I have paint spread out everywhere.
I'm just
Okay.
focused really hard.
I mean, I'm now. You're a fighter and a warrior. I mean, chess is just strategy. Do you want to come help play chess, or do you just want to relax and speak with your god, or?
No, I could help. Correct me if I'm mistaken. If I were to go to this room, it is the same game being mirrored, or it is just another board?
What do you mean? Well, the board is in the center here on the
Okay.
4.
Okay.
And then the 2 rooms branch out to the side with 2.
The gears in each room are controlling the board together, essentially.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see. Of course, I got that. I was just role playing low intelligence. No, I will. I will. For the first game, I will give because I assume you're playing more than one game. I can help you for the first game, but since we're already dilly dallying around, I might as well take my 10 minutes that I wanted to heal previously, because I am a bit sore still from that weird blue blob thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does not seem
And
like. Oh, go ahead.
no, and after those 10 minutes, I can help you more actively again.
Okay.
So I will give guidance, and also everyone gather sort of around. Uh, yeah, no need to be like right by me, but at least within 30 feet. And I will first cast guidance on Deziel, and then I'll start casting Prayer of Healing at a 3rd level, which will take me 10 minutes.
I'll go up to the board and see if I can investigate what might be happening with the clicks. If I have any idea what that signifies.
All right. Yeah. So make an investigation check.
We each 16?
Sorry?
For the prayer of healing, we each get 16.
When the 10 minutes end, yes.
All right. Deziel. So you kind of duck down, looking around the dais, and you see firstly that there is a slight gap between the stone, like directly beneath the board, and the rest of the pillar. Kind of peering in, you can see that it looks like the board can be rotated. And then just beneath that, there are kind of like swirling patterns on the stone itself. But you see one of them is a slightly different color, and just a circle that matches to a circle on the other side. And again, you can see that that looks like to actually be a different material placed into this thing.
Does it look like a mechanism that I could finagle with tools and whatnot? Or that the games must continue to be played?
It looks like you could certainly try.
I would like to try.
All right, make a Thieves' Tools check. $19. Yeah, so you gotta pick up the edges of this.
Use my guidance. 21.
Oh, yeah. You kind of pick away at the edges of the circle, and then you feel a little catch, and then you can rotate this, what looks like a cylinder of stone going through the pillar. You can rotate that freely. You hear like you're breaking into a combination lock. Light ticks every time, like when you twist it. But then as long as you hold the tool there, you can feel that it is being held off of something. So what would you like to do with it?
I would like to make it make low noise. I want to make it do what I heard it do when I won.
Okay. So you hear tuk, 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 you twist it to the right until you don't hear it anymore, and then tick it back just to the last one. And then release it.
Okay.
Okay. The board sits poised, ready for
So it doesn't seem like I accomplished anything, as far as I can tell.
You definitely did something. Nothing that immediately has a dramatic effect.
Well, I guess I will try and do that again.
Try and mess with it again.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So knowing how to get it from last time, you can tick it back out. And then are you going to try and spin it the same way? The other
Yes. The same way.
Sa-
So
same way again?
Did it sound like the same low kind of click that happened before?
Yes, there was a slight difference. Yeah. A slightly lower tick as you go around, and then it stops and just sounds like you just hear a slight scraping of stone on stone, like it's just hitting smooth stone, and then you hear again as you rotate the high ticks. That thing gets slowly lower, lower, lower. So you feel like you've kind of looped it around.
Okay. I would like to attempt to keep doing that.
Okay, yep. So you spin it a couple times around, and nothing seems to happen.
Okay, I guess I will. Is there a chair there, or is it just no? It's up on a dais.
It's up on a dais, so you'd have to stand.
I will attempt to play again.
Where are you leaving the cylinder?
I'm not looking at it, like John isn't, so I don't know what you mean by that.
So there, as you spin it, there is like you hear a spectrum of ticks, starting higher and then getting lower to the extreme ends. So are you where on that scale are you placing it?
At the lowest, like all the way at the lowest.
All the way. So at the lowest,
Yes.
sound-wise?
Yes.
Just to be clear? Okay. Okay.
Like when I heard
And
the
then
4
you're-
ticks that were low, did they seem to be getting deeper?
You couldn't necessarily tell that at the time,
Okay.
but now that you're like up against listening to it, it does seem to be getting lower and lower as you twist.
Okay. I guess all the way down.
Okay. And then, are you going to play?
I guess if nothing happens, then I will attempt to play.
All right. Make an intelligence check.
If 10 minutes have passed and I finish the prayer of healing, I would give guidance again. If not,
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I'll take guidance.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So thieves' tools,
yeah. And
or no, not thieves'
so-
tools. Ugh.
Nat 20.
Nat 20 with your with guidance.
With guidance would be max again. 28. The most I could possibly
Ooh.
roll.
Yep. This is the hardest game of chess you have ever played. You feel like no matter what you do, this thing has a counter. Every time. It is markedly different from the previous times you played. It is predicting. I mean, it feels as if it's predicting you 3-4 moves ahead. You play the best chess of your life, but eventually the best you can manage is a draw.
It's a difficult meter, a difficulty meter.
Almost as if the DC is 30 at the highest.
Which is impossible. So,
Right now,
yeah.
not necessarily impossible.
If I get to add my proficiency, then I beat a 30. Otherwise, it's impossible for me.
Well, you didn't have chess playing in your background now, did you?
Like,
Unless you were proficient in it.
no, absolutely.
This is literally the first time ever anyone being proficient with a chess kit playing thing would have been useful.
With a gaming set,
That's
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
one thing in backgrounds. Yeah, it's the one thing in backgrounds. People are like, who cares about this?
Yeah. So Yeah, this disguise kit really is not coming in handy for me, so I want to switch proficiencies.
Spontaneously.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently this doesn't do anything except making it more difficult or easier to beat. And there's no like secret room that's going to open up and shower us with a dragon's hoard of gold or anything crazy like that. Because I guarantee you, nobody is smarter and going to play a better game than what I just played. Like I felt George God looking over my shoulder and guiding my moves, and just it's not possible to beat this thing. I mean, it could not be me either, but this is about as good as we're gonna get.
I mean, does make sense. Our symbol is a scale, so he does kind of like balance. So maybe I actually kind of cursed you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's possible.
Tempest is gonna reach up and just slap Desiel on the shoulder with a little like paper badge that says, "You did it! Yay!"
I participated.
Literally,
Yes.
participation
He
award.
does- we should make one of those sashes that I used to see some girls walk around. They had like groups of, well, not only girls, they had boys also who participated. They had kind of sashes with a bunch of tokens of all their accomplishments. I think we should start doing that for ourselves.
Sashes, like what did they accomplish? Is it like, oh, I killed my first monster or something, or is it like
They were kids, and I was literally on another plane of existence. So forgive me if I couldn't,
What were you doing there?
Only
Just
the-
scouting it out, or?
Well, when Sylvia was little, her mother and father had to work, and then she was dropped off at this place.
Sylvia is your daughter? Just?
I don't have a daughter.
Well, who's Sylvia?
that's the
Remember
Julia
that
Grant,
girl
right?
that we bullied?
Oh, yes.
The one that I thought was her.
Yes, the one that you cannot find. Yes. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, that one.
So what sash?
Wow,
you
this
say?
got very uncomfortable all of a sudden. So, do we want to go straight ahead? Because I figure we're here having this conversation. Do you want to go straight ahead? There is another room over there that has sort of the same mechanical hibby and that has two other exits. A northern
All right.
one and a southern.
That is on me. You cannot see the southern exit, so that is a flat wall.
There is another. There is one exit to the northern side of that other chamber.
You know, I have a feeling if maybe I could beat this game, there might be a second exit, but that's not happening. So, let's go north.
Have you tried playing it from this side, or can you only play from that side?
No, it's in the middle.
No, but I mean, like, do you have to be that one? Can you be that one?
You mean black instead of
No,
white?
but
Yeah, that. I'm not gonna lie, my knowledge of chess is really bad, guys. I saw there were horses involved, and I was like,
Those are knights.
wow,
There's a lot of words for them.
Pep the chess master.
Yes, don't you know the sport of chess boxing?
Isn't that just
Is that
what they?
what, like,
Don't they
beat each
just
other
call
up?
that? Yeah, don't they just call that war? Chess boxing, like, it's like fighting in chess, but real life. It's a war then.
Well then, I guess we should go in this room up here that you found.
Sure. So we're apparently not really in a rush to leave. Is that what I'm getting at?
I mean, I don't know. That's what I asked, and the consensus was
It's-
to.
It's
You were kind of tuning out at the time. But
Oh, I see. I apologize.
no, I
I,
guess
I
the
heard
consensus
some
was
weird.
to go back and study check out the passageways that we skipped.
Mm, fair. That's fair. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if we do stick around for like a few more hours, then it might be better to just sleep down here. Uh, personally.
That seems
But
unwise.
You know, I've been wondering,
Yeah,
I've
I
been
don't want to sleep down here.
trying to figure out a way that we could sleep wherever we wanted and we would be safe, but I have not quite mastered it just yet. So I don't know if we
I
want to do that.
trust you.
There's a
You'll
creepy
be
eyeball
able
thing
to.
walking around here. I don't know if we want to sleep here.
I mean, we could
Maybe
sleep by
he
the
knows how to
pond.
play chess.
That was very pleasant.
If I'm remembering correctly, I don't remember it being a very pleasant experience. So I'm gonna veto, or I'm gonna vote no for sleeping down here.
Well, they do have
It was
sarcophagi,
cold.
and everyone could get their own little bed and spend the night. And you would be protected from anyone walking by wouldn't see you, no?
What if somebody just I don't know, shut you in forever and you couldn't get out?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Okay.
one person was able to break the seal.
Okay.
No, we
Yeah.
should not do that.
That's true.
Well, let's go check out this room, and then maybe we can head back out. No?
Yeah, no. Again, no, not a necessarily like, oh, we should get out of here as soon as possible. I just wanted to see how we all feeling. But
I feel
yeah,
great.
let's
I
go.
mean, you.
And
I have not been. I did not stick my head in a lake. Was not attacked by the shadow monster.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
So,
So you head up and out to the other chamber, and you find eventually that it does loop around back to where you were. However, this room in the middle here looks to be, is full of bookshelves, all of which have books on chess. Whether it be the history thereof, the strategy therein, chess books.
Seems like that would have been useful 25 minutes ago.
Not necessary.
I mean, you didn't win, so like maybe necessary.
I mean, I did win though.
well, Desiel went 1-1-1. I mean,
So I clicked. So
I'm
there's
just
a little
saying,
cylinder
like-
inside. There's like a setting, and all it does is it makes it more difficult, less difficult. And so when I was messing with the insides, there's like a little setting, and all it does is it makes it more difficult or less difficult. And I made it as
So
difficult
why
as it could
didn't
possibly
you-
be.
Why didn't you put it to easy?
That it would be a good idea.
Yeah. If you almost beat it at the most difficult setting, then you would definitely beat it at the easy setting, right?
I mean, I suppose we could do that. We can go back and try. I mean, when I beat it at the easy setting, it just got more difficult. So I thought I would just put it at the most difficult setting and see what happens. But it is possible. It's just a matter of you win 3 times at any setting and something happens. That is a possibility.
So if it chose the setting after the easy setting, then it probably doesn't want you to win because you didn't beat it at the difficult.
I mean, we could go back. I could beat it a couple more times. I could just make it as easy as possible and beat it 2 or 3 more times and see if anything happens. I mean, that would be easy. If I put it at the easiest setting, like it won't take but a few minutes each game.
One.
Okay. Do you want to try that? We can do that.
Your call.
I mean, it's up to you. That is a good idea, Lyra.
Thanks.
Sure, I mean, I was just focused on beating it at its most difficult. But it may just be counting how many times you beat it.
So what do we get if we beat it?
No idea.
Hmm. Sounds very worthwhile.
Like I said, we can continue going.
Should we flip a coin?
Absolutely. I like flipping coins to decide things. I'll take out a coin and I'll flip it. What do we want it to be? A 1.
One will be heads, 2 will be tails, but what is the decision for each of those?
Where did you go? Heads or
Okay.
tails?
Because when I was looking at the chess pieces, there was like a big head. So heads, chess. Tails, that way.
Heads is chess. All right, so you're gonna go back to the machine,
I'll go back.
take it all the way,
Take it all the way to easy, and I'll play a few.
take it all the way to
rounds.
easy. Yeah, I mean the first one you won't even need to
Goodness.
roll. He does not need to roll for the first one. Just
Oh, well.
steamrolls it, and you hear you hear it tick up 6 or 7 times, or I guess tick down, but tick more difficult, 6 or 7 times before the second game.
Okay, and I will use his. Well, we'll see. So, are you supposed to declare whether or not you're using the guidance before you roll?
Yes, because
I
you can
believe
choose
so.
not to. Yeah. Because
Okay.
you have it for a minute, and you can use it on whichever check you choose to.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will use the guidance. that
But you
just
can
gave
do
me.
it. You can do it after you roll, but before you know if it succeeded or failed. If I'm not
Gotcha.
mistaken.
Okay.
Let me actually.
Yes,
double
that
check.
is correct. I think that's correct. That's how we'll call it.
It can roll the die before or after making the ability check. It doesn't even say if you have if you know if you succeeded or not. So
13.
Yep, you beat it still relatively easily. You tick up another couple times.
One more time. Okay.
Yep, it takes you a little bit longer. You actually have to think about this one, but in the end, you are able to get it, and then tightens up a few more.
So at this point, I would deduce that you do, in fact, have to beat it at its most difficult for anything to happen, if anything's going to happen.
That would be a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, nothing is going to happen. Apparently, it just gets more and more difficult. And I don't know if it's possible to beat it at its most difficult, but
Well, we can come back when you're smarter. So, here we go.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
just for practice.
perhaps. You know, I'll take some of those books with me. Maybe I can become more proficient in playing chess.
Becoming smarter. Yes.
I assume that would not add anything currently, having the books.
No. I mean, if I handed you a book of chess theory,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think you would
Then be able
necessarily
to-
get.
No,
You wouldn't be able to beat
exactly.
Magnus Carlsen.
Probably not.
wait, excuse me. You're telling me that if I don't take a book of an area of knowledge and start doing this, it's not going to spread through osmosis to my brain?
Well, it's like, have you seen that video of the little kid in school?
I mean,
He's
that
got the
got
book. He's got the book
complicated.
open, and he like scoops it up to his head. You could try that.
Yeah, I mean, osmosis does specifically deal with water, but
all it matters to my analogy is that it's from the most concentrated. Oh, Oh, but that is true. It does move the liquid, not what is
I'm just being a
on the
smartass.
density.
People,
Oh,
it is a phrase that people use in English. Learning through osmosis.
no, I know. But yeah. Anyways.
So
Honestly, it would take less knowledge from my brain and put more of my brain in the book, which is actually physically apt also.
Ooh,
But
look at Mr.
anyways,
Smarty Pants here, who knows more than chess books.
excuse me, I was a grandmaster of chess when I was 7 years old.
Oh,
Yeah. So, okay. So, I remember we had inquiries about the hole. Are we going to check out the hole?
sure, Julie, I'll follow.
I mean, it's on the way out, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so we'll move all the way back towards the statue room, I imagine.
through the statue room. Yep.
Okay.
Only
So
slightly accosted
back
by
up.
rats. Yep. Back through the corpses of the carrion crawlers.
Yeah, we got in here or here. Sorry, I don't remember.
Here, at the 0.
Okay. So we're in this middle chamber, so we can either go back down and check the hole again, or apparently there are more spaces near where we got in. So your guys' choice. I mean,
Oh, we looked in the hole and there was nothing there, right? Like we threw a thing and it just was like a bottomless pit, or a very, very, very deep pit.
Yeah. I'm also getting pretty hungry. Does anyone have any snacks?
I think I might.
Oh,
well, you go, Tempest.
I'm gonna like pat down my pockets and eventually pull out like a wrapped ration. Here you go.
nice. Thanks.
I can't tell you what
You
it is. I
munching?
used the original wrapper for something else, so it's just in paper now.
It looks edible, so there's that.
I mean, I haven't died yet, so.
Okay, that's good.
Looks edible. Never let Lyra nearby mushrooms.
Well, I mean,
if
Lyra
you
can tell
wanna-
you just the way it looks does not really mean
Okay.
anything, right? It's what's on the inside that counts.
Yeah.
Ooh, how deep? How deep?
If
Okay,
we
so
wanna,
let's go to this.
well, hold on, because if
Sorry,
we want to check out the
Tempest?
hole, I can just like go down there and then come back up if we want.
Do you want to do that?
I mean, I feel better about this plan than I did about diving into the lake with the creepy monster. But I don't know if that's.
I mean, let's be honest.
really
We'll just tie a rope around you, and anything will just yank you out.
Yeah, stick a light to your forehead and dangle over the pit.
No, jump in the pit.
Smart.
Because you can always levitate yourself back out.
I mean, we threw a coin down there and nothing snapped it, so I think probably.
My name is Jose Mourinho, and I approve this message. I think if you were going to go into the pit, you probably should try to levitate down, because it did seem pretty far.
Well, I
It
can
would
make
probably
it
hurt.
last. I mean, if I'm really trying, I can make it go for 20 minutes. That feels like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that's probably appropriate. But again, like, I'm not gonna be the one to stop you, because diving in the pond was so fruitful, of course, and I'll like look at my new sword. But I did have Pep with me, and I don't know if we could send anyone down with you, and if you were to get ambushed, that would be really bad.
Well, if there's an emergency, I could also transport myself down, but everything up here, gonna be a big boom and things are gonna shake. So you guys are gonna have to step back if I have to do that.
Oh, and you can go however far down you'd like. That's useful.
Yeah, 90 feet. Oh,
I mean, you guys did check this out before. It was a lot farther than 90 feet.
Yeah, wasn't it like 300 feet down or something like that?
It was hundreds of feet.
Do I get the sense, just I feel like I've probably tried this out before, do I get the sense that with how long I can hold my floatiness, I could get at least like the length of the tunnel once? Or do I feel like it's super obvious that like if I floated my way down there I would halfway run out and go splat at the bottom?
I mean, you could get down.
So conversely,
Can
if
you
I
just-
jumped down and then at the last second made myself float, could I then come back up?
Oh, I don't think
It's
it
not a
works like
reaction spell,
that.
though.
What's the worst that could happen? Roll a
It's not
d20, see if you
ball.
time it right.
Yeah. See, that's why the new air genasi is super fucking useful because you get better fall besides
Featherfall.
levy. But yeah, but like actually thinking about the math, you could move 400 feet in a minute, and doesn't levitate last like 10 minutes?
It does last 10 minutes.
Oh,
I can
yeah,
do
yeah,
20.
yeah.
But
You
you wouldn't
definitely be
have
able
to
to
worry
get.
about jumping.
Yeah,
but you
no
could-
problem.
Yeah, so, and you could dash. That's why I counted like 40 feet.
No, like with levitate, I can only-
Levitate, it's just 20 around. But still, that's well within. You would be able to get down and back up.
It doesn't like change my movement speed. It just like is a speed.
But you can hold it for 20 minutes,
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
No, I keep thinking that I've got the one that extends time. No, I can only do. I think I have distance spell instead. I can do it for 10 minutes.
So that's like 2,000 feet
Yeah, but
you
it's
can
still
go.
2,000 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. To be fair, Tempest, I don't know how trustworthy this is because it is my memory, and I know it seems like it was just a few hours ago, but to me it seems like it was almost 3 weeks ago. But I have it in my memory log that it was about 650, like a guesstimation, a really rough guesstimation. So you should, if you don't dilly-dally around too much, you should be able to go down and get back up.
I believe in myself. I'm gonna try it out. Can you do me a favor though, because I'm blind? Can you like throw a coin
Yes,
the
I was
light
gonna
down there
say.
ahead of me so that I'm not, you know. Oh, this is a great pitch black hole. Where do I go to get back up? You know.
Okay.
Or you
I
could
get turned
do
around.
think,
I'm going.
though,
you could turn her hat into a light, and that way she could do like you did.
Oh my god! Make my hat a light. Do it. Do it.
Boom. And I cast light on her hat. Now she has a traffic cone on her head.
Now she
Brilliant.
is a proper bait.
Yeah, pretty much. I use thaumaturgy to give the slight smell of like cooked meat around her.
Bacon.
The aroma.
You just smell like bacon.
Yeah, bacon.
Maybe that's what the ration was. I mean, am I just gonna go for it? Do we want to be like safe and tie a rope? Nah, safety's boring. Okay,
Yes.
bye. I'm gonna
I
jump
was
into
gonna,
the
no,
hole.
no, I was gonna.
Okay, bye.
say- Well, actually, I don't even think we.
I don't believe you have enough
rope.
rope for that.
Yeah.
And, so you sure you want to do this, Tempest? There's no way we can help you if trouble happens down there.
I mean,
They never
when you
stopped
put
her
it that
before.
way- When you put it that way, you sound sensible, and I just like I feel like I've had enough.
No,
of
no,
being
I
sensible.
think
agree.
adventure is important. You can totally do it. You know.
I think I've
It
used
just-
my lifetime's worth of sense lately. I'm just gonna bye guys, and I'll just like leap in there with the.
As she's falling,
When
I'm
do you
gonna
cast
touch
levitate?
her and I'm gonna cast guide.
As I'm jumping, I do it.
As she's about to jump, I'm gonna reach out and cast guidance on her just in case. Make LM4 help you!
Bye.
Alright. You leap down and leap out, and then just as gravity takes you, boing, you stop, and then just start like an elevator, just dropping
I
into
start humming elevator music to myself, even though I don't know what that is.
into the deep of the hole.
So does light have to stay within a certain amount of, like a certain distance of you?
I don't know.
I believe it does, right?
I don't
Wait,
think
if
so.
this-
Pretty sure it just
because
lasts an
says-
hour. There's no range limit.
She gets
Yeah,
like halfway
if
down and it goes pitch
because it
black.
says you have-
I freeze out. I'm gonna like fumble in my bag for a watch because I have 9 of them still.
Yeah. No, but I don't think so. Because it doesn't say anything about going. If you cast it again or dismiss it as an action. There's nothing about it getting dispelled or ending the effect by being too far away.
You gotta admit, like if you wait like 2 minutes and then dispel it, that'd be hilarious.
And you hear the beautiful echoing of me swearing up at you guys.
If I could recast it from up here, I would totally do that. But yeah.
Yeah, so you descend, and with your 20 feet of light around you, you actually can't see the other side.
Oh, so it's a light
It is wider than 20 feet.
Is it
Looking-
What if I like go in the middle, like?
Yeah, I don't think you can deviate yourself horizontally,
I
though.
push against the wall though. It says I can move myself
And
against.
it's 40 feet. It's a 40 feet radius. It's 20 of bright light.
Fo-
And then
40
a
feet.
further-
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 20 of bright and then a further 20 of dim light.
So it is. Yeah, if you push yourself out a little bit, you can just make out the other wall. And almost immediately, the stone gives way to just dirt.
I'm floating down into my grave. This is fun. Oh well.
Getting
least I-
lower and lower, the wall, especially the one nearest you, you can see, gets damper and wetter and becomes almost closer to mud.
Does it start writhing?
No, it doesn't. However, you do start to see holes in the surface of the wall, tunnels. Looking like if you peek in one as you kind of streak by, yellow eyes, like reflecting the light, just flash past you as you continue down. And you start to see more and more of these little tunnels, and they start to get bigger and bigger and bigger the farther down you go. You pass by one that's the size of your hat all the way around, and you just hear a scuttling from deep beyond where the light shines as you pass.
How far down am I at this point? How long have I been going?
This is you get down, let's say about halfway, so nearly 300 feet.
I'm halfway. Oh, that's so tempting! How long has it taken me to get down to this point?
Oh geez, math.
About
A minute,
minute and a half.
Yep, about a minute and a half.
Okay, and in the scuttling I've seen, have I been able to make out like any? Like it sounds like feet, or does it sound like something just moving through? Like
It sounds like appendages hitting against wet dirt.
well, at least that probably means they can't just like float out. Well, tempted to actively keep going, keeping an eye out.
Okay, you definitely see more holes. Again, getting bigger and bigger. Are you just going at a constant speed? Are you slowing to look at any of these?
I'm not slowing down.
Okay.
I'm being bold, not suicidal.
Mm-hmm. The farther down you go, it eventually it almost looked like tunnels that you could walk through before long. Eventually, in your dim light, you see a muddy floor.
Just like at a quick glance, is there anything down there? Does it look like there's just like a bunch of tunnels that branch off everywhere, or does it look like it's just like
Reaching the bottom, there are many large tunnels extending out. Make a perception check.
I will re-roll that. 18.
18. Give me one moment.
I didn't come all this way just to not see anything.
Oh, Mike died this time. Outside the range of your light is pretty much pitch black at first. You think you see shapes in the tunnels moving. Then there is a bit of lamplight. And you look kind of up and see two red eyes. About 6 feet off the ground.
Red, not yellow.
Red.
All the
yes.
other eyes have been yellow.
Yes, the eyes she's seen before have been like reflecting off the back of the eyes.
Yeah.
Like they.
So immediately I'm assuming deeper.
And you start to hear as you know when you're are you getting all the way to the ground?
Yeah.
Yep. So your feet squelch into the mud. What was the piece you threw down there, MDL, before? Was it a copper piece?
I think so, yeah.
Yep. At your feet is a muddied copper piece.
Pick it up.
And as the echoes fade of you hitting the ground, you hear rhythmic chanting. Very softly. And then especially from directly in front of you. Escarcatak ilumbelos. Escarcatak. Escarcatak. And then repeating.
Does it sound like it's getting closer?
First, you just hear it from in front of you, from the creature in front, and then you start to hear it from the tunnels around. As you hear squelching and moving outside of the light of your hat.
I'm gonna raise my height above. I'm gonna get to like say 8 feet, 9 maybe.
The noises, the sounds kind of fade off, trail off. But you can still hear, like, farther down the tunnel, like, almost echoes of the chanting.
Do it. Fireball. Fireball that tunnel.
I don't want to fireball it, but I do kind of want to take a look see. And can I tell which of the tunnels it's coming from? Or is it like multiple tunnels?
The thing you saw was coming from directly across from you. You can hear it from all sides. It's kind of echoing in this chamber. Like its direction is really hard to determine.
Oh god, I mean, going up there's just holes with eyes in them. Like neither option is super appealing at this point. I'm gonna go into the tunnel, trying to be as sneaky as Tempest can possibly be. The one that I saw it come from, maybe. Yeah, I've got a hat with a light on it. I don't want to be blind.
Now, you are keeping your levitation. Yes?
Yes.
So you will not be able to walk per se, because pushing would push you up. You could crawl.
We'll do that then.
Okay, so you are moving yourself down, horizontal now in the mud, like pulling yourself along. Okay, make a stealth check at disadvantage because you do have a glowing hat.
And I know that this won't like affect like my disadvantage, but I do maybe want to just take the hat and like, can I like hide it in my sleeve or something, just so it's like the light's a bit like more muffled, just so that to like 60 feet someone's still really able to see me coming.
You can do that. It's going to dim your view as well. Any amount that you try and change down how perceivable it is outside.
So to be fair, these guys can totally see in the dark anyway. Never mind, I have this thought and I put my hat back on. I'm like, they're gonna see me anyway. Whatever. Not great.
Yeah, definitely not great. So you go through the tunnel directly across. The rest of you, by the way, I would assume are looking down. And so you see her light go down, 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 down to a little pinprick. And then start moving. And then disappear past the edge of the hole.
She's dead.
We cannot hear you, John.
Apparently her light went out. Cast light on one of these coins and we'll throw her another one.
Would I know that the spell that I cast has faded?
I'm just kidding.
Would I be able to see?
I mean, you know the limitations of your own spell. So you know that it's not out of range, and you definitely know it hasn't been long enough for it to fade on its own.
Denzel, can you try? Fuck, it's too far. Should I waste?
You jump down there with your magic.
What was that?
Lyra, why don't you jump down there with your magic? You said you could.
Her magic does not reach far enough.
Yeah, maybe if you guys, do we have 120 feet of rope?
Actually, yes.
So if you get me down 120 feet, I can make a big boom and get down to the bottom, and then hopefully Tempest can bring me back up.
Go over your math a little bit quickly here. Go over your math. Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
The question is
that 210 feet
between Lyra and Amnael, are they certain that she can't do what she says she can do?
Wait, no, 90. I was the person who asked how far it was, and she said how far she could jump. So like, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. Like I can infer that would be way, way, way too far.
How far did she say she could jump? 120?
90.
Just
90 feet.
90 feet.
Yeah. So we would have to get her. But the question is,
we would need like 10 ropes.
Actually, with her, it depends, because as we've seen Tempest do things, she kind of just slows down her momentum, but she still has momentum. Lyra, would you keep your momentum, or could you jump and when you were like 3 feet away from the floor, you would just shoot to the floor?
Okay, these are all great questions that we can definitely test out, but I'm a little bit worried once I get to the bottom, how do I get back up?
This is a good question. If we
That's
don't
why
have like
Tempest
a
went
dozen
alone.
ropes to tie together, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for jumping in, no way out to go save Tempest, but I also believe in Tempest, and I think we should let's go ahead and start preparing the rope, right? Let's go ahead and start tying all the rope together, maybe some cloaks or whatever if we're out of rope, and then, give her like 5 minutes. And if we don't see her light in like 5 minutes, then I will throw myself into the pit.
Maybe we should
Okay,
give her a little
quick
bit more
question.
time than that, but okay.
Who has rope? Who has any rope on them? Really?
I am looking. I start looking at my backpack.
I
Yeah,
have mine on me.
I got a couple of ropes. Yeah,
Like how many feet? Like 50 feet?
not like 100 feet.
I have a
Okay, so we have.
glaive. We could tie a glaive at some point in there if we're running out of rope. Start
Oh,
doing
okay.
really long
So
objects.
with the glaive, we have 310 feet. That will get you about halfway. Um,
I have a little bag of sand.
Could you? Crazy question. Could we put Lyra in the bag and throw the bag down?
I can hold my breath while you throw the bag of holding down.
But then how do you get out?
You can't get
Tempest
out.
will know what to do. I believe in
No,
her.
somebody needs to take you out of the bag of holding.
Yeah.
We can attach a
Oh, okay.
note to the outside of the bag that says, "Tempest, please open it. Lyra is suffocating in here."
Maybe we just let Tempest do what Tempest does, and we don't try and
Yes.
kill you to save somebody that may not need to be saved.
Okay, give her fine. Maybe 5 minutes is, 10 minutes, and then I'm throwing down myself in your bag of holding.
Well, we know Tempest told us her spell only lasts for 10 minutes. It's been like, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. At the end of 10 minutes, throw me down.
I mean, I think we've
Okay.
been talking about this for a good 5 minutes. Hopefully she's on her way up.
Tempest. Back down in the tunnels, blissfully unaware of the bickering happening above you.
He's no break.
Should I say bliss? I don't think it's
I
blissful.
was gonna say bliss is a word, probably not the appropriate one.
You follow where you saw the creature, the keeper, initially. Down maybe 10 feet, and then the tunnel divides out. You hear squelching in the mud, and the keeper twists. Its light shining on you, and you just hear, "Stet iratos, erator volim, erator volim." And you see in its other hand a lump, a almost like a wide meat hook. Like it goes out in a like a weapon or pole, and then it kind of flattens and widens out, hooking over. You see that all down kind of the blade of this device is muddy.
Muddy, not bloody.
Muddy, yes.
Okay. So its whispering sounds super like creepy and maybe a little aggressive, but does it look threatening? Does it look super displeased that I'm down here? Oh no, the keeper got him.
Yeah, these keepers keep messing with them.
Yeah. I mean, we could.
And we lost Kendra too. Dropping like flies.
And what else is frozen?
Is now a good time to cut to break?
Maybe. I mean, it's very suspenseful. I've just run into a keeper. This may be the last time anyone sees me. It's been nice knowing you all.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess.
this is the end of Tempest. Probably Lyra. I'm gonna throw myself down there, so.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe we can come back as keepers and a clock.
Yes.
So we're
And
gonna go
now-
to break.
We're gonna go to break.
Yeah, I'm gonna break. All right.
We'll be back in 15. 11:45.
See you shortly.
I'm gonna die. I mean, I was probably gonna die anyway, but oh well.
Are we back?
Whatever. I'm here now.
Okay. Whenever you do that lean back, I'm always that's my signal most of the time that we're back on.
Yeah, I was
Welcome
like,
back, everyone.
and she started talking. I'm like, well.
Welcome back after our dalliance with the difficult internet problems. We hopefully are all refreshed and rested, ready to go, water refilled, etc., etc. I was describing, I believe,
My inevitable doom.
what was the last thing you heard from me?
It has a hook, a meat hook that's covered in mud, and I was asking how angry it looks.
That's right, you were talking about how it was talking. It's not whispering. Its voice is raised. Iratos, Iratos, Erator.
He doesn't
I'll
like
just
your
start
light.
backing
It
away.
begins to
Sorry
step.
for interrupting your work. I'm gonna like try and look as like obviously we can't speak the same language, but I'm gonna just try and look as placating as I can. I don't want to look afraid. I'm just gonna look. Sorry to interrupt your work. I made a wrong turn. I'll get going.
All right, so you
But I'm like
push.
backing up.
Yeah, you push back out into the into the hole. The rest of you, while arguing about what means to best launch Lyra down into the hole, I guess, and then have her jump at the last second so that she's fine, you know. The light reappears from the edge of the tunnel.
Is the thing following me?
It is following you slowly.
Does it look like it's basically just like shooing me away?
It like as you begin to back up, it's maintaining the same distance from you. But yes, it is still speaking and stepping you back.
Okay. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna like gesture to like one of the other tunnels being like, eh? Or like up. Does it look like it's gonna be angry if I go this way, or does it definitely want me to go up? I've confused it. Yes.
You've confused me. I wasn't ready for that. It just stares at you. Kind of now muttering, almost under its breath now. Same
Okay,
cadence.
and like all of the tunnels look the same, right?
In as much as they're
Tunnels look
mud
but there's
mud
nothing
tunnels
that
that
sticks out
that you're
me.
seeing in dim light. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna assume, based on what I've read, that I'm down in like one of the parts where they're just like expanding the library or something. So I'm gonna like try crawling towards another tunnel and see what he says. If he starts yelling at me, I'll just back up and float away as quickly as I can.
I mean, as you pass completely out into the main thing and start going the other way, he turns around and starts plodding back.
So I'm back down where he was going.
Yeah.
Ah, but where is he going? When I was following him, did I get a sense of how long the tunnel was on either side?
How long or how wide? Because again, your light is limited. You could
No.
only
You said
see in total about 40 feet out.
Okay, but it was definitely like it's not an immediate like
It was
go this way and then take a corner or something.
was longer than what you could see.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna go up.
All right. Make me a perception check.
Seven.
Okay, you don't see anything.
Okay.
You begin to rise. No, I assume you're like pushing back towards the side that you had dropped off. I mean, you're not like floating in the middle. Or are you?
No, I'd float in the middle.
Okay.
Just so I can get as far away from generally all of the holes as possible.
You slowly begin to rise. And the rest of you eventually start to see the light getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So,
and Tempest.
if this has been a while, if she runs out of her spell, can she cast it a second time? Anybody know?
I hope so.
Why wouldn't she? I mean, generally, as long as you have energy, you can cast. At least I can cast my spells. You know, as many times as I need to have the energy to. So she should be able to. Oh, but look, the light is getting slightly bigger. I think she might be coming up.
Okay, yep, so it took you about 3 minutes to get down. And then you spent maybe a minute and a half down there. So now 3 minutes to get back up. And you're floating in the you realize in the middle of the hole with no way of pushing yourself back over to your companions.
Throw me a rope. Throw me a rope.
Yeah, I'll say you guys could do that.
Make them roll.
Look. Tempest, make a dexterity acrobatics check to catch it.
Wait, can I push her over with the glaive towards the rope to help?
I'm curious to think of the mechanics of what you're suggesting.
Like, just poke her over.
She's in the middle of the 40.
She's in the middle of the thing.
Oh, I thought she was drifting out. Okay, never mind.
You'd be pushing her away. Also, you would not be able to reach. At 10, you miss it.
Throw that
lasso her?
You can certainly try.
I'll try and grab the rope with my mage hand.
Okay, yeah, your mage hand should be able to do that. Yeah, I assume he doesn't just He's like holding it at least.
The blue help me float is like starting to flicker. I'm, like,
yes, you can feel it now, Tempest. You can feel yourself begin to weigh anything. Not that you weigh much at all, but
I'll kind of tote the rope over to her with the mage hand.
There you go.
Like reel myself in.
And right as Tempest is on the ledge, she just.
Guys, you would not believe what I saw down there. So much dirt. Just dirt everywhere. But like wet, so like mud. Yeah.
That's all?
It was just a hole.
That's it?
No, actually, yeah, really funny story. Guess who I saw down there?
Oh.
Just like a funny place to run into him. It was one of the keepers. He had like red eyes. He really was like 6 foot tall. He had like a meat hook that was covered in some sort of like dark stuff. He was. I mean, he wasn't maybe aggressive, but he was definitely not using his inside voice. Surprising for a librarian. He said something along the lines of, and I like rattle off best as I can whatever the heck he was saying. Which sounds kind of like what they wrote down in my book. And then I tried following him, but I'm not super like sneaky given I'm a traffic cone right now. I don't know what a traffic cone is. Given that I'm a beacon right now. So then he just kind of turned around and yelled at me out of the tunnel, and then yeah. Also, eyes. So many eyes down there. The theme was eyes. Lots of tunnels. I think that might be like where they're like expanding the library or something. I don't know. Looked a bit like a construction zone. Very like work in progress. Not any of the nice decor that we've seen so far. Not even any paintings or artwork.
Well, then if there's nothing of much interest, then I guess we should get going.
I mean, I wouldn't say of no interest. Like, there was a whole tunnel network. I just didn't really... Like, I wanted an adventure, not, like, immediate death.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't seem like an adventure was to be had under those circumstances.
No, I do understand now, though, why the book mentioned that all these people go down there and run into the keepers, and then, they die.
Yeah.
Did he try to kill you?
I mean, they didn't try to kill me, but I get the feeling, like, a more pushy adventuring squad that was just, like, roaming around down there probably would have been, like, the meat hook. It was a pretty big hook. Why does a librarian have a meat hook?
Maybe it's kind of like a spade to dig the dirt. Didn't you say they were expanding?
Maybe.
They live in the tunnels?
Maybe. I mean, there was a lot of cabins down there.
And the caverns had eyes.
A
They
lot of
make the
eyes. Yellow eyes,
library?
though, not red ones.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I guess we have explored the hole in the ground.
It feels like unsatisfying, you know? But I
mean,
suppose
you
it's
met
not
a
really fair if you just
keeper.
go down there and say, do something interesting. That's a bit rude.
Well, you met a non-modified keeper. I guess that's interesting.
True. I can go down in history as one of the few people who's seen a keeper. I might be the only one who's seen a keeper and lived to tell the tale.
I saw a keeper like 20 minutes ago. I saw Kendra kill one. Or Lyra
Yeah, but that
killed
was a
one.
weird keeper. I saw a wild keeper. You went to the zoo. I went out into the wild.
Is he mad?
From down there.
Like, about maybe one of their brethren falling recently?
To be honest, couldn't understand a word he was saying.
Okay, that's good. Maybe they don't
So
know yet.
I mean, if he was mad, it might have just been because she was a big shining light, and they don't like the light.
No, he was giving me less like, you've slighted my kind, and more like, guard dog, like, rah rah rah, back away from my fence.
Did we only have one more hallway to look through, or was this it?
Yeah, the creepy hallway.
Creepy hallway.
Should we You going?
Yeah, sounds
Sure.
good.
Where?
You guys make it back to the creepy hallway with the sickly sweet wind still blowing gently out of it. And it is pitch black beyond the reach. What does your lighting system look like?
I could light my eye patch on my shield.
Well,
or
are we
throw a
traveling
coin.
stealthily or are we traveling with light? Big bright beacon.
If we're going,
We can't
stealthy
see
as-
without light.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
could just
think-
walk in front.
We could have a Pep and Tempest sandwich. Have one of us that can see in front and one that can see in the back, and then they just follow. Or we can throw some light on. Your call.
I mean, I can scout ahead a tiny bit. I can see in the dark.
Joe?
Sure, go ahead.
I'll go with
Okay.
you. June, I can scout.
Do this.
I'll
Oh.
go first.
So the Lyra is scouting ahead. Lyra and Desiel.
Lyra and Desiel, I guess.
Lyra and Desiel are scouting ahead. Okay. Both of you sit off down this hallway. Which again, pitch black, although that does not much affect Lyra. Now, Desiel, you have dark vision, right?
I do.
So that is going to be 60 feet
Correct.
bright, 60 dim, 30-30.
I can see in darkness up to 60 feet.
As if it were dim
As if
light
it
and
were. That's right. dim light. I was thinking of something else.
Shades of gray.
Right. It looks even darker than it should, even if it were pitch black. Like you're getting maybe 45 feet. Lyra, you're unaffected because Devil's Sight is what it is. But you feel this breeze pushing against you as the corridor starts to tighten. Not necessarily to where you have to turn or squeeze through, but just like enough that you're definitely only getting one person across.
Alright. I'll let her
I
take the lead if
would
she
walk
wants.
in the front.
You are walking front. All right. You see on either side of you, along the wall, like shredded webbing. Like a spider's web that has been cut through and has fallen to the sides and stuck to the walls.
Okay. I just make eye contact with Desiel because we're trying to be stealthy, so I don't want to speak out loud. Just like you don't have your spider on you, right? Not out.
I do. I mean, it's in my cloak, but yeah, I have it.
Kind of point to Eddie and then into the web and be like,
Do you want him to crawl on the web?
I was like, you think big Eddie's here?
Oh, big spiders made a bigger web. Yeah, likely.
Because like small Eddie's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, but if there's like really big Eddies, I'm a little nervous.
Well, it looks like somebody came through here and already cut the webs. But, I mean, chances are there's likely large spiders around somewhere. Making the webs, no? They're just spiders.
Yeah, they're just spiders. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Here we go.
they're not like undead archmages or demon-possessed keepers or anything like that. They're just
But they
spiders.
have like legs.
Do you have legs?
Legs. 2. Wait.
Could you have a lot of legs? No, like
Did you hear that?
objectively, can sorry, just out of character, can they? What are the logistics?
I have to have. I can only like change into like something that has the
Humanoids.
basic arrangement of the limbs. I have.
Okay.
So it has to be like.
So have-
legs.
So it's has anyone here played Octodad?
Yes.
It's that you could do that probably with Spider, but
Okay. Changelings are fascinating.
Alright. Here we go.
And I'll just. Through.
so you're talking with Deziel there, and then you kind of turn back as you walk, and dangling in front of you is a long, spindly, jointed leg.
Immediately back into Deziel.
Spider. Big Eddie.
You look up as the ceiling kind of has risen, like as you've gone has gone up, and you see kind of like slowly pincered or narrowed, and up top you see more uncut webs, and then dangling body of a spider, of a
Does it look
massive
alive?
no. It is.
Oh.
It appears to be dangling from its rear, from webbing. It has a white, bulbous body with a small head and beady black eyes that just point down. Its limbs are just fallen, or not, like, are just draped over itself down. You look on the ground next to it, one detached leg lays in the hallway. The space directly between its head and its abdomen, you see a char mark, and then like fractals of burned skin. I guess is still I guess they still have skin. Like jagged bolts of burned spider.
Did Andrew and whatnot, did they mention anything about spiders, seeing spiders, fighting spiders?
They mentioned a creepy hallway
But nothing beyond that.
that they did not enter. No.
Oh, okay. And this
However,
spider's clearly dead.
The spider is clearly dead. You did, however, find a lightning javelin on the adventurers that met their end slightly farther on.
Yeah, did we figure out about how long ago those adventurers met their end?
You knew it would be in the last few days.
Gotcha.
Relatively recent.
I don't think there's anything down here.
No, apparently maybe this is another way out.
Ink?
So, I mean, the adventurers that we saw came through this way, no?
Okay. Let's try it.
So we'll keep walking down.
Okay.
I'll message back to Mnail. So somebody's been through here. They killed a large spider. We're gonna keep going.
Should we follow? Should we wait?
Let's just go.
So we've walked, like, they're a good ways behind us now, right?
Yeah.
Joe, I think we're far enough ahead. Joe, you can come on.
Okay. So should I not use any sort of illumination, or can I, to make it easier for Pep and Tempest?
Cast it again. Go ahead and use your light. If it seems like it's getting too bright, I'll tell you to stop and wait a little bit.
Yes, sir. It's time to get a move. It's time to get a move on. So, any amusing items that I can illuminate this time around? Maybe one of your hundreds of daggers, Temple? You can just point it like an antenna.
All right, fine. Only because I've got 10 now. I can use this one. Actually, no, not that one. This one.
You light one of her daggers and continue on. After a short ways, Lyra, as you are out in front, the path splits. So there is a hallway to your right, a hallway to your left, and a tunnel straight on. If you will recall, the library was described as a maze.
Oh, Desio, I think maybe today is not the day to go through 3 tunnels that I see in front of us. I don't want to get lost when we're not prepared. What do you think?
No, this makes sense. So do you think we spend the evening, we sleep down here, or we go ahead and leave? Because if we want to come back through here, then we have to go through the house again.
I don't know, because so the library was described to us as a maze. So the thing I know about mazes is sometimes you get lost for a while. Don't know how many rations you keep on you, but I don't keep that many, and I ate one of Tempest already. And I don't know. I don't think we're equipped to explore the maze. And plus, if we're gonna go report to the professor, we should probably report to him instead of being gone for days, because he might think we're dead.
I mean, that's okay. He could think that, and then we show up alive, and oh, surprise! But the real question is, so you had rations and you eat some of Tempest's anyway? Like, that's hilarious.
You know, my rations are really boring, and I wanted to mix it up by trying like.
No, I understand. I am not. Yes. Just I didn't know you had it in you. I'm proud of you, Lara.
When I meant rations, I meant this, and I take out a little bag of sand.
Okay, so do you eat sand? Like, is this something like you've always done since you were little?
Well, one time I got lost and I was really hungry, and I ate sand, and it kind of curbed the hunger a tiny bit. So, you know, always keep some sand on you, just in case.
I do have a tiny bag of sand, so if you run out, just let me know.
Okay, I'll do.
Don't eat sand, please. It has germs and worms and bacteria. Don't eat sand. Sorry. Random
Here's
side story.
something.
I wound up in the hospital from eating sand when I was like 4 years old.
Oh.
Please don't do it.
And well, walking barefoot on some beaches can also be bad, so because of things that live in sand.
So, should we just ask the rest of the group what they want to do?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess when they catch up.
whatever you think. We think we should go back. We go back.
I'm okay with exploring the tunnels. I just
You're in charge.
Nothing that an adventurer. Me?
You're leading the way. Where do you want to go?
Okay. As the leader, I would like to make Pep in charge to make the decision.
Okay. You tell them. You tell everybody Pepe's in charge when they arrive.
All right.
And here they come.
Okay.
You see the light is coming.
Oh. Hey guys. So, funny story. I'm in charge, and my first order of business is that Pep is now in charge. Pep, should we explore these tunnels? Should we go above tunnels?
I don't know.
That's it? That's what a great leader has to say.
I mean, this place is pretty magical, and you're asking the one person who can't use magic about this place.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that that's a bad idea, but that kind of sounds like a bad idea.
Fine. Who would have a great idea? Person who just flew into a deep dark tunnel. Tempest. In charge now.
But you
Oh
can't
my
put
God,
her in
I'm
charge. You're
in
not in charge anymore. Pep's the one in charge.
Oh. Tempest in charge.
Okay. Tempest, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. What were the options again? This way or
Keep going ahead
this way?
into the maze of the library. Or go back out. So we can rest. So we sleep inside
I mean,
and then go in the maze, or we leave.
I am feeling, and I'm wielding my dagger as I say this. I am feeling weirdly invincible now after I looked death in the eyes and it just like yelled at me and told me to get out of its off of its lawn. So this way. And I'm gonna stop watching.
Into the tunnels.
Come on, Lyra, I dubbed thee my second in command.
Okay, looking at these tunnels, is there one that seems to have, like, spider webs parted, or, like, it's very obvious that somebody had recently passed through that tunnel?
Make a survival check.
May I assist her?
You may.
Cool.
Believe it or not, you're not a spelunker of any kind. No way for you to know.
Okay.
Is there a
Tunnel.
world in which our easiest idea is just to fire something into each one of these tunnels and we can infer our options from there?
I can blast something 120 feet away. That's what you're asking?
Yeah, me too. And
Okay.
I can go double that.
Oh.
I mean, it costs something, but if we really want to, like, make sure there's nothing down there.
yeah, no. Yeah, I think we could just walk blindly. That'll work. I mean, it has worked.
Should we rest before we go into the tunnels?
Okay.
I thought you were
Like,
against sleeping down here.
Yes. Weren't you specifically the one that
Okay,
was like,
listen.
maybe we should sleep down here because
That's-
they're a creepy thing?
That's when I thought we were done with the library, right? I thought we were gonna go back up. You know, I was gonna go answer questions that I needed answers to because I wasn't allowed to go look at the library. So that's when I was like, let's not sleep in the library. But since we're going to the library again, maybe we should sleep.
So you're going to be
Why are
eating
we
your
going-
sand then?
Are you hungry again? I have more.
I'm kind of getting hungry again. Yeah, can I have another bite?
Alright, hold on.
I have enough
Have my
food for the 5 of us for 3 days. Food is not a problem.
Okay. Okay, so we're just marching into the tunnel. Okay, Tempest.
No.
Imagine-
Why though? Why?
Are you in
I
charge, or is
wouldn't.
Tempest in charge, Amnio?
I am
Yeah!
not making
This
decisions.
sounds like
I am just
insubordination up now.
What are you going to do? Kill me?
Ah!
Oh, that's very cute. No, but really, why are we going?
I mean, wasn't it our job to search these tunnels?
I'm just kind of curious what's down here. I'm honestly, I wasn't satisfied with my exploration of the Keeper Tunnel. I didn't find anything cool down there. It was just a dude with red eyes that yelled at me before I could see anything.
If we
Maybe
were
this
willing
tunnel
to
has
risk our lives in creepy holes and tunnels, why didn't we risk our lives in the actual part of the library?
I just how the tables have turned, people. Where was this level of reason when I was the reasonable one? Now look at it. The order has restored.
In my defense,
I just want to read
In my
creepy
defense,
books.
in my defense, I was reckless when I had enough energy to solve shit, which I barely do anymore. And again, I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just asking what caused the change of heart. Because Tempest was the one that didn't want to come down here, and Lara was the one that was like, we shouldn't sleep down here. If we're going to do it, cool, fine by me. But what is our objective? Just look? Why though? What are we gonna attain from it? I think honestly,
Why put your face in the lake, Amnail? You saw a cool sword. What if there's a cool thing this way?
okay, but I knew there was something down there. You think something might be somewhere.
I mean, technically I know there has to be something down here. I just don't know what it is. And you didn't know it was down there until you had a look-see. It could have just been some really magical
No, that's
dead
not
people.
true. I knew before I put my face in the water.
You knew there was magical stuff. It could have just been a really bunch of magical skeletons that then came to eat you or something.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Listen, are we comfortable with sleeping down here or not? I think
yes,
that's
I was
what we
gonna
have
say,
to
if we're
decide.
gonna continue, we should sleep.
Oh wait, you guys need a
And
nap.
Tempest, since you are in charge, are you comfortable with sleeping down here?
I mean, I don't really need a nap right now, but if everyone else does, then I guess I could like stand guard or something.
Well, DM, how long have we
Other
been
thing,
down here,
it was-
time-wise?
Time-wise, it's been maybe, what did I say? 4 hours? 4.5?
And it was already nighttime when we came down.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, it was extremely easy to get in here. So it's not like we couldn't just come back.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking, like, how easy did we as a group get in here, you know? So, you know, we could definitely come back again to the actual book part.
Perhaps you don't appreciate what it took to get us in here because, well, it was made easy for you. But
I do. It was a team effort. Yeah, definitely. I stood guard. It takes a lot of effort, Zion. I think you should appreciate.
absolutely.
Are you saying you couldn't do it again, Desiel?
No, I'm not saying I
was
couldn't do
asleep.
it again. I'm just saying it seems like maybe there's not an appreciation of the obstacles.
No,
That is not a thing where we just pop in and out whenever we want.
You've been grumpy ever since that chest room that we couldn't
I've been what?
do anything. You've been grumpy ever since that
Grumpy?
chest
In which
room
way have I been
we got
grumpy?
in. I feel like you've been saying a lot of like, there hasn't been enough appreciation here.
This is the first time I said anything of the sort.
Well, if if it is difficult to get back in here, we should stay here, right, and explore this place fully.
We could always
would
do
be-
my
I have
thing
made I have
and
made
we
no
start a
argument
house
in one
fire.
direction or the other. I am simply watching things unfold.
We could go nap in the lake room, like on the balcony.
Just we
Like,
could
we
sleep
technically didn't
next
see
to the long
anything else
tentacles.
there. Well,
We
no,
could take a
'cause we
nap
would
in
be
the
up.
library. The books you could use as a pillow.
Have you tried that before? It's not very comfy.
Be better opposed to this pebble that I would have to sleep on.
If we are going to spend the night, my suggestion would be to do so next to the pit.
With all of the eyes.
Not in the pit, near the pit. it is the only place that I can think of where we have had a dead end of sorts that did not involve a large tentacle monster that could reach out and grab you. Every other
I'm
hallway
just
we've
saying,
been
like,
through,
what
there's more
made the
continuing.
pit though? Like, what's to say the thing that got down there couldn't get back up? I got up.
Yeah, you went all the way down there, and there was no problem. It was boring, as you say.
I mean, if you want to nap next to the tunnel, sure.
What if we sleep with our back to the front door we came in through? You know there's only like one key or something to get in, or if somebody's gonna get in, it's gonna be really loud.
If that's what you want to do. If somebody opens the door, clearly we are right there. If we go down towards the pit a little bit, then something maybe can come out of the pit, but if assuming that does not happen, we only have one entrance between us and the rest of the complex.
If it's gonna be this much of a concern, I guess, I mean, we could always come back, yeah.
Near Gerard's, you make they poke at, like, sprinkle their arms or something if somebody's coming towards us, or they're not able to do that?
I don't think I can make them do that on like a trigger, but I can set it so that, like, if someone steps on them, a sound goes off or something. I think.
If there's only one entrance to get to us, I believe I can establish enough notice. Security.
So as long as we have like our backs covered, we just have to worry about our front. And if you can just do something, it's just something. Okay, good team.
Good
And
team.
besides, we can and probably should take turns. We shouldn't all 5 of us sleep at the same time.
I mean, I'm super duper not sleepy, so I'm happy to take.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
is
you
anyone
get
particularly tired? We
tired.
could just continue down this way.
Let's just continue, and if we get tired, we just rest that spot. Then how about?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Napping, not napping.
Let's go into
I
the
mean,
tunnels.
if you're tired, you should say it right
Oh,
now.
I'm
But if
fine,
you're not,
Pep. I'm
Okay.
totally fine. I'm not hungry. I'm not tired. I'm not mad that we didn't get to go to the library. But let's go to this
okay,
tunnel.
because you had like 2 rations already, and those, those are for like a whole day, right? I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm a really big keeper earlier. That takes a lot of, energy.
Okay, so I'm heading back to the alcove outside of the pit, and I'm going to sleep for a little while. And maybe have something to eat.
So you are tired. Okay, well then let's go rest.
Okay, let's go. I sanded.
Okay, so the plan is
To go to the little room type thing
right.
outside of the pit. Yes.
Okay. And are you guys going to take a long rest?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just do it.
Are you doing a watch?
Okay. So
I'll take first watch.
once everybody is in, I'm going to have Eddie string a web across the hallway, and then from the middle of that web, string it back to me where I'm going to be resting. And then
Okay.
at the entrance to the room, as everybody is eating and getting ready and whatnot, I will cast Guardian of Faith.
Okay. I need to check something real quick.
I can also make it quiet here so that any noise that we make doesn't go out if we find that necessary. We wouldn't be able to talk amongst each other, but since we're sleeping, that shouldn't be much of a problem.
I'm a sleeper, so.
I mean, would it be an issue if we can't all at each other if there's an issue there?
Yeah, I don't think we need silence. I mean, we have not exactly been quiet while we've been down here.
Yeah, that's fair. Just a thing that I thought might be useful.
Now, Desiel, just to be clear, you can cast up to 3rd level spells, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So you need to make me an ability check,
Mm-hmm.
an intelligence check, to see whether or not you are able to cast Guardian of Faith, as that is a 4th level spell.
All right.
Nope. So you put.
I will use my second chronergy, I guess, to.
All right, go for it.
Ah. I should have gotten guidance from you. Let's see. There we go.
There you go, indeed. So as you focus on the magical energy within the ember sphere, you kind of feel it start to escape from you, but then you wind back and catch it, releasing out this indistinct orange shape that kind of hovers above you.
So it has a gleaming sword and a shield emblazoned with the symbol of Timora.
Indeed it does.
Okay, I think we should be good to go.
Okay. I find a pebble. Take my cloak over to the thing I killed earlier, so I have nothing to cuddle into. Sleep.
So you're putting the pebble under your head as a pillow?
Yep.
Have I got that right?
I know it logistically makes no sense, but you know, I imagine if you just imagine it, a pillow.
You will have
Like
a small.
pillow.
You'll have a small dent in your head in the morning, but.
Yeah, that's fine.
I put my hand on my bag and I just hand her my bedroll.
Oh. And I'm saying this as I'm unrolling it and getting comfortable. Oh no, I couldn't possibly take your bedroll. That would be so rude and inconsiderate of me.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, what is the watch order?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Actually, I'll offer to take last watch, so I can prepare my spells in the morning.
All right.
But if it looked like everybody
I
already
think,
went
did
to
you
sleep,
say, did Emnail say first watch?
I did.
okay.
Okay, so Emnail, you are going to be first watch.
I guess I'll be second then.
And I'll take third.
Okay. Emnail, everyone else cuddles up with their bedrolls. You settle into the mostly silence of the Grand Library. Make me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, cool. 21.
Okay. You get through your watch without issue. After your 2 hours, you wake Tempest. Tempest, once everyone gets back to sleep, make me a charisma saving throw.
Not great. But if we're resting, I might use favored by the gods.
Can you do that on?
During a long
It's
rest.
in a saving throw or an attack roll.
Have you already used it though?
Yeah, because I used it before we rested on the Kraken, and it recovers with a short rest.
It does come back with a short rest. Okay. You can, I think.
So that's not the same thing that you used to re-roll just a minute ago, like 10 minutes ago.
No, that's a different ability.
That's
Yeah, that's
sorcery
something else.
point.
Yeah.
All these re-rolls. Between
Says
the
the
two of us.
Chronergy wizard.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Between the two of us.
With silvery barbs.
Yeah.
The Chronergy wizard with silvery barbs.
I just assume at this point in the campaign that no roll will stay. I just assume it's something is going to be re-rolled at some point.
Yeah, we just need a eloquence bard with
Right.
unsettling words. Yeah.
I think at least 2 of you have silvery barbs and
Yeah.
all your other stuff.
No,
Well-
it's not 2 of us. It's the only 2 that can re-roll shit all the time.
That's
Tempest
also
doesn't
true.
have-
Yeah.
Yeah. She has the sorcery point thing and favored by the gods and chronergy and silvery barbs. I mean, it's great. I'm not complaining.
Well, fortunately, it didn't matter. As that's only a 14. Tempest? You weren't feeling very sleepy, as you said before anyway, but you got you're able to get to sleep, and then you're woken by Amnail, and you're feeling pretty alert. And then there's just something so soothing about the background noises of the library that you just find yourself dreaming. And your head kind of dips to sleep, and then you kind of catch yourself. And around you, instead of dirty, grimy, dark stone, it is almost polished. The stone around you. Your friends are still there, all sleeping. But you kind of feel almost as if you're rising outside of yourself. That this is not, you have not been transported somewhere physically. Looking around in the direction of the hole, instead of an empty pit, you see a beautiful dome reaching up above, and then on the level, a wide platform, a circular platform with a lever kind of in the center of it. There is a figure wearing light blue robes, a absurdly large wizard's hat, like with a 2-foot brim, and reaching up another 3 and kind of curling back. Walking around the outside of this, or kind of around on this platform, looking to be muttering to himself. And he looks up and sees you, and kind of cocks his head and then beckons you.
How sensible am I right now? Like, do I still have like my full mental capabilities at the moment?
Yeah. You are aware enough. Strangely, this happens, and then you're like, oh, this is a dream, and then you wait to wake up because normally, oh, I realize I'm dreaming. I wake up, but not here. You're like, oh, this is a dream. Not
Okay.
quite though.
So I'm not compelled to just step out into the
No,
hallway.
you don't just do it.
Okay. Is he recognizable at all, or is he just a man that I don't know?
At the moment, you can't see under the brim of his hat. Like I said, it is massive.
I kind of glance back at my friends and then go towards him cautiously.
You step out, your footsteps kind of echoing unnaturally in this chamber. The figure, he draws his hands back into his cloak. It's not safe to be out here alone. Stick by me. I'm around here somewhere. I'm sure of it. And he pulls the lever down in the center of the room, and the whole platform kind of shakes for a moment, and then begins to descend. You see around not obviously it's a circle, so no corners, but like forming corners, like 1, 2, 3, 4, are glowing rails that you see the platform descend along, coiling slowly. So you're turning as you drop. Down, 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 as far as you went yesterday. Before stopping and stretching out in every direction, are basically lining up with the tunnels that you saw when you were down there, are bookshelves. And he begins to walk down one of the tunnels, kind of gesturing you forward. Right this way, best to stick with me.
Who are you? Is this what they're trying to make? What it will be?
This is me. You ought to know, shouldn't you? You're the one traipsing around down here.
Apologies, we haven't meant any disrespect. It's a pleasure
Oh
to meet you.
no, it's quite all right. You're far from the only feet my head feel.
It's a lovely head to explore. You've got many wonderful thoughts around here.
He definitely seems distracted. Like look peering under his hat, you can see like his blue eyes kind of darting around. Just around here somewhere. And as you turn around the corner, there's another figure holding 3 or 4 books, currently placing one on a shelf. The figure turns to you with gray skin and no hair, with piercing red eyes. Look at you, look at him, and then continue walking the other way, rounding the corner. Don't mind them. Just doing their job. Very useful. Keepers. An odd name, isn't it? Keepers. Keeping what? I suppose I'll have to ask next time I see him. I must say, it's been so long since I've heard him.
Who is he?
He is thought? No. Word? No. Idea. Is he still called Ogma? I suppose he must be, or you must have heard what you recognize. Otherwise, you would not hear me now and understand. How strange. I have to remember to ask him. I know I'm just around here somewhere. He continues to walk through the shelves.
Do I know what the name Ogma would be referring to?
Make me a religion check. There are some things you would just know.
Okay.
To know the extent.
20 total.
I don't even know why I ask Tempest these questions, because it's always 20.
I like that all of my rolls so far have been terrible, except for like random knowledge.
Yeah.
Plus 6, total 10. Plus 1, total 20.
Ogma is a loose concept. He's a god in as much as the others are, but he's not considered to be condensed into an entity. Ogma is the spirit of the idea, the spirit of the seed of knowledge, and of knowledge itself. He is far more ephemeral, far more disparate than the other gods are known to be. He does not take physical form, but he is raw knowledge. He exists within and around the idea as a concept.
Do I know anything about, firstly, whether he's like some kind of dangerous god, and as much as like evil, or whether he's just like knowledge itself is just the concept and it's how you use it?
Ogma is as dangerous as ideas are dangerous, which is to say extremely so.
Yeah. And do I know why he would be? I mean, aside from the obvious, it's a library. Do I know that he has any specific association with the library? Because I thought the library's god was Denia, I want to say.
Denier, who is known as the scribe of Ogma.
Right, okay. Right, okay.
Which with the 20 you would absolutely know. His voice has been distant.
When you
Go ahead.
say he, do you mean Ogma or do you mean Denia?
I mean Ogma. To he, Denier, the name. Name to idea, idea to person, person to thought, thought to knowledge, knowledge to Ogma. He kind of drifts away again, like loses his train of thought. I promise I'm just around here somewhere, and I can answer all of your questions. I answer questions. I ask questions, answer, ask. What is the difference? Time. Time, time, which is not, which is, which will be, which was.
How do we find you?
I am here. This is me.
And yet you look for you.
I haven't found me. I'm here somewhere, I know. All I know, I'm here somewhere.
And is that why they search? Why they dig? Why they keep going?
They. They make what was what is. They make what was what is, what I was. They make what I am. They make me more as I did. In the way that I grew, they grow me. They do not know where I am, or than I know where I am. They are me, and I them.
I'm gonna try taking his hand. Just hold it as we walk. I want to see if I can actually grasp him.
Yeah, you can. You hear, as soon as you do, you hear in your mind whispers. Not in the same way as the Nothic. As you in this, you hear one voice repeated many times. You hear his voice, the words just beyond your hearing. Some of them repeating the same things, some babbling incoherently. I am sorry, I am not whole. Hole. You went down the hole. The
I did.
hole.
This hole.
This
There was
hole.
nothing here. Nothing like this.
This hole. I am not whole. I am holes. Many holes. Some filled. Others searched. Others empty. What have you searched?
Well, these feet have walked many holes so far. There was a lake. There was, I mean, the hole that we stand in, we've seen. There was chests. There was ciphers, something called the cipher. Round and round and round in every book.
Round and round and round it goes. That was great fun. Great fun with another name beyond me now. Such fun, such great fun, divining. What have you learned? I think that's what I was. I was learning. Learning verb, learning noun. Either one. What have you learned?
In general, from the library or of the library?
Whatever you wish to speak. This place is learning. And it does learn. As I did, it is me. I learn. What have you learned?
Of all that I've learned, the most important lesson is do not ask too much, do not wish for too much, do not think too much or too hard, or very hard at all.
I nearly recall a time when a statement of that nature would be debated for hours. Hours. You see, he holds out his other hand, and a book, a very thin book, appears in it, open to the center page. He closes it, and you see on the cover a jaunty little witch's hat. And he places it on one of the shelves as you walk past. Memories are odd. A thing can be remembered and untrue just as much as it is remembered and true. Or something like that. My memory fails me. You remember much, child, don't you? Too much. Too much for one as young. Yet all of it tainted. All tainted by youth. Bear that in mind, should it become important. All knowledge is important, except that which is not learned or used. I swear I'm just around here somewhere. And slowly, as you walk, the shelves get more indistinct, kind of start to run like watercolor paint. The walls glow white, which becomes brighter and brighter and brighter, eventually swallowing you. And you snap awake. Back in the dingy, grungy library. You're not sure how long it's been, as there's no real way to tell.
Before I wake the next watch, I'm gonna take out my paints and on a bare patch on the wall somewhere, I'm gonna do a quick little painting of having met him and of the names he mentioned of Ogma, of Danielle, of maybe of the words knowledge and learning. Just so he has something for it. Jog his memory back. And then I'll wake Desi up.
Okay. Desiel,
Yes.
make a charisma saving throw.
Is this to avoid falling asleep?
Not quite. Now, you said you were going to prepare? You were wanting to prepare some spells
Yeah.
during your watch, or? you kind of get absorbed in what you're doing. You know, you're of copying the spells over and um, tossing around the magical energy of the words. And you don't initially notice someone sit down across from you. Although when you look up, there is a man in light blue robes with papers spread all around him, with a wide brimmed hat, reaches up tall and folds over. Don't be frightened.
I look around.
You won't.
Is everything like, are my companions sleeping, and like, has anything changed in the environment?
No, everything looks the same except that this man has sat across from you. You can't see his face; it's obscured by the as he looks over his work. What is it you're working on there?
Simply meditating on the weave of magics.
Ah, the weave. Lovely woman. How often we would sit and talk.
They?
I'm sorry?
You said how often they would sit and talk?
How often we would sit and talk. Learned many things from her. Till she went quiet. And I suppose I went quiet. Oh dear. How long ago was that? Strange. How easily time flies. No?
And so she has a name, this weave?
Oh dear. How rude of me. I have forgotten. How strange. Oh, I'm sure I have it written down somewhere. And he begins flipping through papers and pulling out notebooks. Her name, how strange. Well, looks like I have some research to do.
Did you have a name?
Not me, no. Not anymore.
What was your name?
Oh, it was mighty and powerful, wasn't it? But I set it aside. Can't quite remember where I put it. I always have been good with names. How strange you should find two that escape me so easily.
And so what brings you here?
Well, where else would I be?
I don't know. Where else would you be?
I can't think of anywhere else.
Where were you before?
I've always been here.
Not here.
Well, who's to say I haven't? And you haven't just been looking for the wrong things? Who's to say that I am even anything? That I am not just a figment of your imagination?
If I were to imagine you, I imagine I would have given you a name.
Perhaps. What name would you give me?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
Oh, there's no creativity in that, is there? What do you
No.
imagine my name to be? Desiel.
No, that's my name.
Hmm.
So how is it you know my name and you don't know your own name?
How could I be expected not to know your name? You've come walking in. All of you practically giving yourselves up to it the moment you stepped in.
So you know everybody who comes in here then?
Oh, if I think of them. Not all have quite the trace that you all do.
Do you know who sent us or why we came?
Oh, I would imagine it would be for something rather important. Although the things beyond me escape me.
So you don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay. A few days ago, there was another group of individuals came through here, clearing, fighting some of the denizens of this place. Did you happen to know their names?
Names. I feel names. Ah. Their names have been claimed. Are they still living?
No.
Ah. Well, that is very nearly like her.
Like who?
Oh, once a dear friend. Once a... Oh dear. Oh, she's gone. Where did she go?
Where did who go?
Oh, she's gone. She could not have taken them. And yet their names are claimed. By who?
Who was she?
I feel you misunderstand me. I can no more conceive of her than you can conceive of a new color. Or rather, a color that has been deleted from your mind and from your eyes. She is not here. It's as if she never was. And yet traces of her remain. How strange.
But you keep referring to her, but you can't tell me who she is?
Such is the wonder of the mind. It can create what isn't there or recreate what was once. I knew of her, but I do not know her.
So if they are dead, and you are saying she has taken them, would she
No, no,
be...
no, no. She has not. She is not here, although their names are claimed. By someone else.
Is she some sort of deity then?
I'm afraid I cannot tell you. As I do not know. Give me some time. Allow me to do my research. I swear I'm around here somewhere. He stands up and walks away.
Does the Raven Queen mean anything to you?
He continues walking. And then vanishes. The rest of you wake to, does the Raven Queen mean anything to you?
The Raven Queen.
What? Are you alright, Tissio?
What?
No,
Raven Queen.
You seem to be talking on yourself. What
You seem to be dreaming.
Am I? I don't think so.
No, you clearly said that.
Ow, I'm awake.
Okay.
What's that on the wall? I'll point at Tempest paintings.
I
Oh,
got
we
bored
went
while I was on
sleep
watch.
Oh.
Were you visited by somebody while you were sleeping or watching?
Now, Tempest, you said you did paint him on the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Painted
so,
both of us in the library.
right. So, Desiel, the figure she has drawn, blue robes, massive blue hat, that matches pretty much exactly with what you saw.
Were you visited by somebody while you were on watch?
You know, Desiel, I would say I think that we're the visitors.
Did you think that what?
We're the visitors.
Okay.
So you guys were visited by a nice one while we were sleeping? We're looking for vengeance.
No,
It was the
nobody
rats
did.
that
Nobody
did
looking
us.
for vengeance. Somebody who. I would say he likes to speak in riddles to try and sound intelligent, but he actually seemed to be a bit confused himself. So.
What did he say that was confusing?
No, he didn't say anything that was confusing. He seemed to be confused about his name, about the names of other individuals, which he apparently supposedly knew very well. He claimed to be very good with names, and yet he could not give me a single name of anybody we discussed.
It's odd.
Yeah.
He gave me one. Ogma.
Oh, who's Ogma?
Not so much who, but what. Ogma is knowledge. A god, but not so much the god of knowledge as the god knowledge. It's not like you've got like the Raven Queen, right? Ogma is like just like a metaphysical concept of like knowledge. Less so of like a person.
Oh my god, I just woke up. This is a lot for me to take in right now.
I was asleep when this conversation went on. How do you think I felt?
That's a lot.
Were you asleep?
I don't know. Things are all like, whoa, like they tend to be when you're dreaming. Also, really glad that I was streaming, because if I'd stepped out of the hole and it turns out like, joke, I would have just plummeted to my death. That would
Apparently,
have been wild.
you wrote a few names down here. Are these all the peoples that you discuss?
I mean, two names, Ogma, and then he didn't. I don't know. The name Dania, he responded too strangely. I wonder if maybe that's him in some sense. He seemed awfully sure that he was this. That he was talking almost as if that he was the library.
Whoa. So the library is now a being?
A very confused, highly bad at remembering.
But if you're a library, wouldn't you know everything and anything?
I mean, he seemed to know many things, but
Not a
everything.
name.
He said that that he had to be around here somewhere. That they were searching. They were making him what he was.
He knows our names.
So what does the Raven Queen come into all of this?
I don't know. He didn't answer. He knows our
Yes,
names.
I'm
So
asking.
I asked him the names of the individuals who came here, the other adventurers, I guess you might call them. The ones who came through these spider webs and whatnot. Who we found, they were dead.
Oh,
You
so
remember?
yeah, but again, if he's a library, there's all of these names, but not his name.
Well, he didn't know
He
their
doesn't know
names.
the Raven Queen.
He knows our names, I suppose, because we are here, and so he can just feel them. I don't know. Because I asked him the names
They're
of the
special.
individuals who came before us, and he said their names have been claimed, which I guess, because they were killed, their names, he does not feel them inside the library anymore. But he said she
Since
claimed
they're dead.
them, that is something she would do. And then he said, but she is not here. And I was like, well, if she claimed them, and they are dead, maybe she is the Raven Queen. He also called the Weave she.
Raven Queen is death and the weave. Yeah.
Right, the Raven Queen is the Weave.
No, the Raven
No,
Queen
quick-
is the
quickly.
Shadow
No,
Veil.
sorry.
Is the veil.
No, we don't know the weave. Sorry, we don't know what the weave
Protects
is. Yeah.
the veil.
It's Mistra, I think it's the name that her followers use, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this
I don't
Emnail
know.
saying that?
I figure, would I know a basic pantheon of the gods that
That-
work in this world?
That's a name you would have heard to refer to the weave.
Yeah. Okay, I have so many questions. One, would I have ever heard of a concept of a deity claiming names of entities that have passed? Two, would I don't even know what the second thing was, so I'm just gonna go with the first one.
Make. Oh, jeez. What would this.
Religion?
Closest. Yeah, make a religion check.
Can I cast something on myself beforehand?
Just make it.
Okay. Just gonna... Oh, thank God.
A 20, how terrible.
Here's one thing you do know. To the Fae, names and souls are the same thing. That is why, if you give a powerful enough Fae your name, they own you. Denier is known as an elven god, and the ancestors of the elves obviously left from the Feywild.
Looking at the image that Tempest drew, does it have elven features? The entity?
I don't know how precisely she would have she wouldn't have seen necessarily.
Okay.
I am sure
the
that
hat obscured.
The hat was over, it was definitely over his ears,
Yeah.
and his face was in shadow. There was very little you could, like in a dream, when you look at somebody, you know you're looking at a face,
But it's blurry.
but if you try any detail, like especially afterwards, you'll start like imprinting face, like other people's faces that you know.
weird
So
question.
you don't have like a picture. You didn't have like a picture of his face. You might have drawn like someone else's face on him if you're drawing like that realistically.
Did I notice that he might have been like his limbs were kind of long, like he was more like slim, lean, like he might have an elf's build, or is it like
That's not inconceivable. I mean, he was in kind of billowing robes, so very hard to say. But that's, you didn't see anything to dissuade you of that.
Okay,
Well,
the
isn't
picture would
like
be
you guys had a cool time? I just dreamt of like that creepy spider. So
I mean, this guy didn't have 8 legs.
here, already better. No offense to Eddie, he's not creepy. He's small, but like big spider, big Eddie.
You know, for someone who is knowledge, or is all about knowledge, he did not seem to like me asking questions.
Is it that he didn't like the questions, or is it just he didn't know the answers?
I don't know.
He
But
seems
he got
like
up and walked
weirdly
away.
baffled. He did the same to me. He just kept saying like, I'm sure I'm around here somewhere," and then just like kept wandering off.
Yeah, he said
You
something
ask
about
him
being around here
questions?
too.
What did you say, Lyra?
Do you ask him questions too?
Honestly, he asked me more questions. Where have you been? And then I told him like there was a chest room and there was a kraken and stuff. We passed a keeper. And then he told me all that stuff about how they're making him and stuff.
And the keepers are making him.
Well, I said they, and then I don't know if he did this thing with you, but like I would say something and then he would just like take it and run with it. I said they, and then he said yes, they're making me. They're. He said that like I should know who he is because we're the ones walking around here. Like he is here, and that he's like he kept saying he's around here somewhere. That he's incomplete. He's not whole. But that they're trying to make him whole, turn him, almost like restore him or something. I don't know. This conversation was just like doing things to my brain. He seems nice, though. A little confused. But he told me to stick with him. Stop me from getting lost. So.
You guys ask him which tunnel to choose?
No.
Ah, shit. That would have been a good question.
Come on.
Okay, I get. I don't know. If what you saw wasn't a illusion, which I have no reason to believe it was, both of your accounts seem pretty reliable. maybe we should take a sign to be more careful where we walk.
Well, nothing he said to me was anything about being careful. He just said, we talked about Mistra, or no, we talked about the weave, and he didn't remember her name. And he said that he didn't have a name, that he put it away. What else? He talked about the names of the other adventurers being claimed, but he would not answer by whom, because he could not conceive of her. He could not conceive of her any more than you could conceive of a color that has been deleted from your memory, and she is not here.
Does anyone else think it's weird though that he's like, she's not here, she couldn't have claimed them? Like, is it kind of
Claimed
weird that
them
there's
then?
someone else claiming?
Because if they claimed their name, we know that their names are dead because they're dead. Who's claiming the dead names?
She is.
That's
Not-
not quite, that's not quite it. Different creatures treat certain things differently. For example, most of my brethren generally had some sort of obsession with eyes. Color of eyes, functioning of eyes, because it is the portal through which we can connect our consciousness to the world. That's why some of us are quite subconscious about, and I lift my eye patch, we're heterochromic. We have different colored eyes. Purple, like mine specifically, is viewed as the one that can see the least, if you will. Ones that can barely see beyond their own actual vision. In that line, I remember that some fey creatures, specifically the more powerful amongst them, archfays, probably like the ones that we would have encountered had we gotten to one of the courts, or I don't know if Ren would count as an archfey. He was quite powerful, but I guess he was more powerful because of the Feywild than himself. I don't know. They had the habit of claiming names as a way to claim your soul. So at least through the Fey magic, there is a path through which your name equates to having control of the cern of your being, the essence of who you are.
I told everyone in the Feywild what my name was.
Well, again, that shouldn't be a problem, again, because I think the only person who was powerful enough to even consider to be an archfey was Ren. And I don't think he was. And honestly, that guy is more kooky than anything. He wasn't going to try to collect our souls or anything.
I mean, we have Conceal a Sundial, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know. This is quite. Uh, Regardless of what you guys think, I think you'd have to agree that this is quite unusual and should not be taken lightly, because at best it's some meandering spirit that is lingering to this place, and at potentially worse, you just had an interaction with a forgotten god.
I mean, I
Is
wouldn't
that why
call
he
it
couldn't
forgotten,
remember anything?
except by himself.
My
They
gosh,
call him the
it's like
Forgotten
I
God
remember
because he
his
forgot
name.
everything? He's always
I
forgetting
don't
things?
know.
Oh,
I don't know. But the only reason why that would appear is because if you perhaps he's not a god, but he's a creature that is stuck to here. Perhaps he's one of the old overseers of the college whose soul is entombed in one of the sarcophagi, and he roams these halls at night. I don't know, but you have to agree that this is quite disconcerting, specifically if he. And again, we have no necessarily reason to believe what he says, but if he potentially knew a god, or at least talk to her.
I mean, you know a god, you talk to your god, she talks to the Raven Queen. I mean, This
I
is
mean, I
nothing.
talked to the Raven Queen, but I don't like talk. to the
Yeah, why
Raven
is talking
Queen.
to a god a bad thing? Everyone, well, two of us do it here.
I mean, and he talked about talking with the weave. I mean, having conversations with the weave. In a sense, I could say that I have conversations with the weave too. But then he says she left.
Okay.
What does he mean by the weave left? You were talking about Mistra. What is this about the weave leaving?
Would I have any knowledge of any sort of?
No clue.
I don't know. Look, my connection to a direct deity has been no longer than like 6 months, and it's been quite frail to one deity that himself is sort of outcast amongst gods because of his domain. So, if we wanted to know more about anything that might be happening, if it is happening at all, to someone like the goddess of the weave, or one of the goddesses of magic, I think it's her domain, I'm not sure. We'd either have to talk with some sort of abbot of her or try to seek knowledge elsewhere. Um,
Knowledge is around here somewhere, apparently. If he was
yes,
knowledge
but
and he said that he is around here somewhere, then the knowledge must be here.
We go
Does
find
anyone
him.
else?
Maybe he's the library, like the Raven Queen is the veil, and Mistra is the weave.
It's just
maybe he is this Ogma entity.
Or the
No,
Denia.
he said he wasn't Ogma. He didn't. He said he needed to talk to ask him if he was still called Ogma. That I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't a name that I recognized, which it was. But I think maybe he's Denia, or at least he knows Denia. And the way he was talking, he is the library. But does anyone else find it weird that he was saying that they're just gonna keep going, keep making him into what he is and was and will be? Like the library is just gonna keep growing?
Well, if he's knowledge, doesn't knowledge always grow?
So,
He's
Parlin said something similar about the Shadow Queen, extending the veil, extending itself.
if mortals are creating a deity of sorts, does this mean that while the deities may give some of their followers powers, the deities themselves do not have powers without their followers?
Whoa.
That probably
So-
makes sense. I think okay, another aside. Would I know what the Raven Queen's whole thing is, or she's just a god?
Can you be more specific?
Do I know everything about the Raven Queen?
In your world, was she a mortal that ascended?
Oh, what would you know is the question.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Spoiler alert. Thanks, Walt.
You would know that she is considered very different from the other gods. You would not know why.
yeah, okay, got it. I don't know. To a certain degree, I feel like relevance is power. I don't have any evidence of that, but I figure that the more people who worship you, the more adept you become at passing that on. I don't know how that applies to deities, and maybe perhaps I truly don't know. This. Oh my god! It's too early in the morning for this.
So we make gods?
Not each one of us individually, but perhaps we as
Wait,
people.
So if this guy that you guys were talking to when you were supposed to be keeping watch, which I won't say anything, but
I mean, I
you're
was
supposed to
keeping
be keeping
watch.
watch.
I was awake.
Okay, well, I mean, it sounded like you were engaging in conversation instead of keeping watch, but that's not the point of this conversation. What it sounds like to me that doesn't know his name, because as Amiel said, doesn't have followers. So maybe he's a forgotten god. So if I, Lyra, say, hey, library god, I'll follow you. That'll work.
I think
If he's
a
a
Yeah, I'd like
forgotten
Wednesday.
god, well, if your theory's right, well, shouldn't he not exist by what you're saying? If he's a forgotten god.
I think it's less that he wouldn't exist and more that he wouldn't have as many powers as he had normally. But again, I have absolutely no idea.
So
He
he's
could-
got like one arm or something like that.
I mean, to be honest, the God of Knowledge is intriguing.
I mean, I would follow God of knowledge. I mean, there's no rule that says you can only follow one god, right?
That's not
Yeah,
necessarily
I
true.
suppose it depends on the God
Hey,
making
is
the
that a
rules.
rule?
I mean, gods can be jealous, right?
Be jealous over me? Oh,
I don't know.
I mean, there's enough love in my heart to go to multiple gods, but okay, they can fight over me.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. This is weird.
So what are you saying? That we should not go into the miss? That we should just leave, or what?
Me?
Yeah, you were saying that we should be careful.
No, I think we can continue on. I'm just
I mean, honestly, I don't know exactly what time it is, but like it might be morning, it could be midday. But regardless, it's probably not dark up in the house.
I know. No, sure. I okay. 1 second. I need to get my stuff in order. I think firstly, it wouldn't be a bad idea if I were to message the professor, tell him that we succeeded our initial task, that we're doing some more like, well, that part we might want to omit, but my idea is just tell him that we finished the task, we are running some errands, and that we will reconvene with him later today, perhaps tomorrow morning first thing. We can or not disclose that we're still here. That's one thing. Second thing is, if we are to believe that what you experienced was a genuine entity contacting the two of you, I have to believe that that entity chose the two of you for a reason. So we have to try to understand, if you wish to, try to understand why the two of you. What did the two of you have in common that perhaps the rest of us don't?
Smart.
And attempt to not
That's definitely not it.
enrage it, or, as Pep said, there are deities that can be quite petty at times. And if it is a deity, we shouldn't try to disturb it. My point of being careful is not that we shouldn't do anything, but I think I'll definitely not be putting my face into any more ponds. For the
Yeah, you
foreseeable.
probably pissed it off.
Okay, so
Honestly,
can I agree with you completely on point number 2 and disagree with you just as completely on point number 1?
sure.
I say there's no reason to message the professor. 1, save your strength, because we don't know what's going to be in the miss. 2, if the professor thinks we're dead, let him think we're dead. When he finds out this evening that we are not dead, he will be more relieved. He will think, oh, it was a... You know, the longer he wonders, the more difficult our job for him was. I mean, there's no harm in him wondering whether or not we're dead or alive, no? I mean, I don't care. I mean,
That's
The professor intrigues me clearly, but I don't care whether he worries about us or not.
No, that's absolutely fair. That's fair. I am quite rattled by your account. I apologize. I will shut up now
No, no,
because I'm
no. It's what
really
you're
not.
saying makes sense as your.
Why are you rattled, Daniel?
I don't know. I really don't know, but
I
I
mean,
have.
you know gods better than I look at Lyra. Most of us probably.
Perhaps
So
that's why
you're
he's
the
rattled.
expert on this field. If you're worried, I think that's something you should probably clue us in on. Or is it just what you mentioned?
It's not a part of my knowledge that worries me. I never really had this, but I have an intuition that something is off. It could be, again, I think it's one of two things. Either this is just a spirit that roams these halls, perhaps one of the overseers that is dead, interred in one of these sarcophagi, and just roams the halls at night. Or the second possibility, that it is some sort of deity, not necessarily a ancient god of the elves, perhaps a lesser idol, or something trying to rise up. Or, and honestly, I have zero evidence to back this up. Could it be Karkath disguised,
No, because
trying to trick
Karkath is in
humans?
jail, right? The Raven Queen's watching over.
Says who?
Says Jew, no? Or the other death
Oh
cult.
gosh. Oh, I've been meaning to do this, but if we're gonna be down here, I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of this.
Are you going to go do some
Guys can-
push-ups and go running in circles?
yeah, I'm just
Well,
gonna do some push-ups in the corner. You guys just finish whatever you're doing, and then I'm gonna scuttle over to a corner. I'm gonna
Does she start doing
over
push-ups?
my shoulder.
I'm like looking at you,
I'll be
waiting.
like, just this, and like, I'm doing push-ups with my mind, and then I'm gonna take out my short sword and lean it against, like, lean it against, you know, the wall. I'm gonna be like, listen, buddy, you know, I know, kind of didn't tell the others, but I know you don't talk to me much. Like, they don't know, but like between you and me, I know. And I know maybe I talked to you a little bit too much, but you know, you have to understand for a long time you were like, you know, my only friend and just you. So listen, I think we both have a common goal to protect the Raven Queen. I think something's going on with the Raven Queen. She's in trouble. So listen here, buddy, sword of mine. You could give me you to contact the Raven Queen so that I could warn her and save her. We can save her. But I need your help on this. Come on, buddy.
Make a charisma persuasion check.
oh, come on. Come on. Yes!
You wish to hear our mission. Are you certain? The rest of you, Desiel kind of looking over at, squinting at Lyra. Is she doing push-ups while she's doing this?
I'm
No,
doing
she's doing
mind
them in her
push-ups, so
mind.
I'm just sitting staring.
Okay, so you're just sitting, staring. Okay, yeah, so you're just watching her, whatever she's doing, whispering to her sword.
It's
And
the
she,
old men flex. They put the arms up, but they only flex their face. They go like this.
yeah.
Exactly.
You watch her, and you see her double over in pain and begin screaming. Lyra, There is a moment of silence after your sword speaks to you, and then you hear a scream, taking up your entire mind. You cannot think, you cannot move, just a scream. And we're going to wrap things up there for tonight.
The sword is the Metatron.
So we'll see where this goes next week.
It
As-
hurts. It hurts so much.
A lot of stuff. You guys poked and prodded a good bit.
I want to learn how to follow a
Yeah.
bag now.
Well,
You should
we
get
will
some
definitely
Yeah, use that.
see you all next week. Ran a little late again, that's fine. Check us out Tuesday as well as we start our Call of Cthulhu stream. I trust I'll see the rest of you there. You can say hi to me and Kendra. If you don't, you're getting whatever the opposite of inspiration is.
Okay, so everybody jump in the Call of Cthulhu streaming channel next Tuesday, 7 Eastern.
Yep, absolutely.
Because he wants to see us in there.
Yeah. Definitely
Oh,
jump in.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure whoever's
You'll
running the
definitely,
stream will love all these extra pictures popping
yeah,
up.
you'll definitely see us there. Yeah. Good night all, or morning, evening, whatever, afternoon.